timed up exactly.
Yeah, it did. Wow.
We'll see how long that lasts.
What do you mean that timed exactly?
Well, sometimes there's a little bit of lag between when we hear from our guests, like just enough that it doesn't quite match up.
Wow.
That's all I mean.
I just have better internet than Artsy.
I wasn't even referring to Artsy. I mean, I'm thinking retro video when we did the Lion King crossover. We had some weird lag, but that could have been because we had 3 video feeds going at once. I don't know.
That might do it. I'm actually going to try to share this out for people. So,
thank you.
While we're doing, because I want to get more of my listeners in on the live action here.
Yeah, which is appreciated.
We do appreciate that.
Yeah. Not just, Edwin, who just loves me and all of my friends. Like, I swear, like anytime I bring someone else on on my show, he goes and checks out their stuff and then becomes a fan of them. It's wild.
I wish more people were like that.
Yeah, agreed.
Because when I hear somebody I like, I go check them out and see if I like their content when they're not on somebody else's show. But
yeah,
that's not true of everybody.
Yeah, but Edwin is good people.
Yes.
Edwin is very good people. He's also started there's the live feed. He's also started reading my book. So he's arguably my biggest fan ever.
It's nice to have those from time to time.
Yeah, yes it is.
All right, I'm gonna go see how far along Deal it is on the charge. I'll be right back.
He's got to charge his AI.
He's got to work.
So how are you?
I'm surviving. It's been a mildly annoying week.
That I understand. In some ways.
17%.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
It's because I just had to deal with the weird medical conditions, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So this week, I have discovered that the toothbrush bristle that I swallowed that I thought I had dealt with has not been dealt with. It's still lodged in the back of my throat.
You swallowed a toothbrush bristle?
Yeah, because I made the mistake of buying a cheap toothbrush, and then the bristle came off while I was brushing my teeth.
Hi, Artsy.
I hate it. So now
it's a real shame you can't trust the cheap toothbrushes like the dentist used to give us back in the day.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And because of that, I went to visit the walk-in clinic where the family doctor works, and they couldn't do anything for me.
That's the problem. You got the Temu toothbrush instead of the Taiwanese toothbrush.
Yeah. Yeah. So because of that, I went to the clinic. They couldn't do anything for me. So now I'm waiting to go see a specialist to deal with this problem.
Ooh.
Which is probably
how big a bristle are we talking about?
The problem is that it's lodged behind my uvula. So it can't, it's just stuck there.
But we're just talking about like the little brush at the end, not like the whole unit, just like one of those little hairs.
No, it's just one of the little hairs. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
A good cough would probably clear that up.
I've tried. I can't get it to work.
I mean, I understand that you've not had the luck, but conceivably, in theory, theoretically, like I said, I've tried some home remedies and it hasn't worked, and not having a good time. Thankfully, it's. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, well, it's not. Right now, it's not too bad, but like I said, I have a feeling they'll probably have to stick something like a special tool in my mouth, find the stupid thing, and then pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fine, I'll deal with that, But so that's been my annoyance. I've also been a little bit in between jobs. I do start the writing center job, restart the writing center job on Monday, because that's when their summer session starts.
Let me test D-Lit real quick.
I heard that.
You heard that, and it was a decent level for you.
Yeah.
I think it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to share stuff out on as many spots as I can.
You
Just
are
like
fine.
I said, to get more, to get more of my listeners and such. So like, I'm doing it on
BulgePowers.com and
Hey, Paul.
Artsy Stuff. I hadn't said hi yet, Artsy.
Yeah, I'm doing this on YouTube and
He's
Facebook.
entertaining
Where else is this going out?
Twitch,
okay.
and Rumble, but you don't have to worry about the Rumble.
Okay.
Rumble is currently on there because there's no reason for it not to. It's not really doing anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if I can share anything on Twitch. I don't know. I haven't logged into. I haven't properly logged into Twitch in a while. But although what you can do is on YouTube, you can send me a collaboration link.
I should do that right now because I can do that on this live while I am thinking about it.
And now I do know. I don't think it asked me this time, but it usually gives me the option to like stream to my audience, but I don't usually do that for this unless it's a proper crossover.
Somewhere in the last month they changed some stuff, so I don't know where it asks y'all anymore.
Artsy, I have attempted the gag reflex. It still doesn't quite work.
YouTube Studio, that's what I'm looking for. And
it sounds like it's nice and large.
And I need.
So hopefully,
I've had one of those sticking in my gums before. That is horrible.
There it is.
I've had one of those sticking in my gums before. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah. So hopefully, in the next week or so, I will have that problem solved.
Yes.
I just have to be the guy who gets the weird stuff, don't I?
It does. It happens.
Could be worse.
I'm about to say, how old are you now?
I don't
your age
and like asking a man his age.
Yes. He's not a lady, so I can ask.
I'm the same age. I'm the same age as you.
You're 43.
I'm 42. But yes.
Okay. Well, like you don't act your age. I know that.
I certainly don't, and I don't look it either. I people still think I'm in my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's like I graduated college and I stopped aging. Maybe I'm an immortal, so keep sharp objects away from my neck.
There can only be one Nate.
There can be
there could be only one.
I know it's in here somewhere.
It's like the movie we're watching tonight. And it's like, Vincent, he's immortal, kind of.
Kind of, yes.
Kind of.
By the way this sounded, Faye might be immortal now, too.
Yeah, exactly.
This actually works, just so you know. I don't know why this hasn't gotten a proper Blu-ray release in America, though.
Yeah, we can't exactly see it.
Don't know.
It's doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to turn I was hoping that it would actually show up on camera, but okay. We're in pre-show right now, so I'll turn off the background for the moment. But once we're quote unquote on the air, the kayfabe goes back.
Oh, that's fair.
Fair enough.
But crap, where did it? Okay, here it is. That's where I need to go. Virtual background. We'll turn it off. Yeah. I've had this DVD for years.
I've seen it floating around for years, and I never picked it up. And I was like, I'll get it later.
And I think you can still get it pretty easy. I have the show on DVD, and I keep wondering if I should upgrade to the Blu-ray. I'm still debating on that. I think the content of the discs is still the same.
Just
so I don't know. I'll have to make that decision at some point, because this, spoiler warning, Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite animes.
I wonder why.
Well, part of it is, and I will get into it in the show. I'll save it for the show.
Okay.
But but I do remember when this came out, and I have this might be a first for you, but when we do the the spoiler-free section, I am going to request a rant master.
Really?
So I can tell the story about how I saw this at a movie theater, and it was one of the worst theater experiences of my life.
Ooh, okay.
Because somebody, first off, there were things that were not advertised to me about what they were using for that screening. It was a Fathom event that was like a year and a half ago.
And then good about those things, though.
Yeah, but there was another problem with it, and I actually knew that it's like somehow the DVD did it better. So I just want to tell that story.
So apparently, unless I'm just blind, I don't think it allows me to add a collaborator while I'm live.
Yeah, I think you got to wait until afterwards.
So I will when we finish tonight, I will then send all the collaboration stuff.
That's fine. And you guys need to invest in this.
The Batman animated series Blu-ray, I take it.
Yeah. This is what I have been using every time we talk about Batman. This is what I've been using.
We are so close to the end. That would feel like a large waste of money at this point. Plus, he's already watching on the DVDs.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray.
But yeah, I get it. But there's stuff. There are special features on this that are amazing.
Eventually I might invest in it at some point.
I think the special featers are on. If you have the DVD set, the special features.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I especially want to get Batman Beyond, because Batman Beyond is so good.
I need to get my mitts on Batman Beyond at some point. And the other thing that's cool about this, because I had the separate release for Mask of Phantasm, and then I bought this and discovered that the exact same disc for Mask of Phantasm is just part of the set.
No, that makes sense.
So I'm like, well, I guess I don't need this anymore.
Is it got Sub-Zero in there too?
No, it only has Mask of Phantasm.
That didn't make sense because Sub-Zero is still in canon with their show.
It is. And I when I was listening to the episode where you were talking about that Mr. Freeze episode, I went through the same thing. I knew of the existence of Sub-Zero, and then it didn't get released, and I was confused.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that episode, and I'm like,
yeah, because they act like we all know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
In fact, I would almost be willing to bet that when I was a kid, that might have been the final.
I was wrong. I was wrong. No, Sub-Zero is in here.
Okay,
nice.
Well, that saves me the trouble of tracking that one down. But there were a couple of other ones that were kind of sort of tie-ins with this, like they had Mystery of the Batwoman, which I saw.
Which I can't tell if that's actually a DCAU or not.
It's DCAU.
It's DCA. It's DCAU.
Yeah, DCAU.
I've seen it. I've seen it, and it does. The ties to it are pretty subtle, and it uses the WB art style. But it's the same cast.
That makes sense from the time period.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same art style. It's the same voice cast. So yes, it's DCAU.
Well, at some point,
it's just that character I don't think ever comes back.
At some point, we'll probably throw that into the movie rotation.
You should. I think there was one,
because we've already done the other two. So,
and I think there was one more. I want to say. It's Mask of Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Mystery of the Batwoman. That is specifically Batman the Animated Series. I'm trying to
Batman and Harley Quinn.
No, well, does that one count?
Yes. Is not the animated series, the movie that came out a couple years ago. It has the exact same cast from the DCAU. And I know that the art style's slightly different, but it's still DCAU.
But that's in the DC DVD straight to DVD sets, right? That they started doing about 10, 15 years ago,
roughly. Yeah,
or 20 years ago, I think now. Good night.
Hold on.
Oh well, okay.
I said 10 to 15 years ago because literally in my mind, I just stopped working at Walmart 2 years ago. It's like, no, wait, that's been nearly 10. That's been over 10 years. Time is an annoyance.
Yeah.
Time moves too fast.
Yeah.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The only tie-in movie for beyond those first two is Mystery of the Batwoman, because I looked up Batman, the new Batman Adventures, and that's the only one. So it's those 3 movies that are specific to Batman. And then obviously you have
and then obviously League or something.
Yeah, and then you have you have Batman Beyond and Batman Return of the Joker. You know what's funny though? I actually, even though I do think the unrated cut of Return of the Joker is the better cut.
Amen to that.
That's the version we've reviewed both times.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing. Finding that original censor cut is actually worth it because they completely reanimated one scene.
Yeah.
And because that's a later version. And I didn't know this until I saw a video about it. So like, frick, I'm going to have to find that one then. And the PG-13 cut is actually a little difficult to find, weirdly enough. But because that was made later, they were able to go in and correct some animation errors that are in the uncut version because that was made first.
Yeah.
It's weird. So it's like, crap, it's actually worth having.
I actually have that version. I bought it at a, I think it was like movie gallery was closing. And they had it. And it was like, you know what? I've never seen this. I bought it.
Yeah. I do think I've seen both cuts. And like I said, I do think the unrated version is the better version.
Oh, yeah.
But
what's funny is I've seen his version. In fact, I think the first time we watched it, I watched your version. And his case is sun bleached all to heck for that.
Oh.
So Joker is actually green on his cover. For some reason, he's green. I don't remember why. It's just the way it's sun bleached.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Artsy Steph is saying she feels my pain because her recording area is literally a secondary closet. I'm not sure what she's referring to.
I don't remember either.
You're gonna have to clarify, Steph, and be prepared for me to break Jacob and me to tell you when to clip. Apparently, that's my thing now.
Yes.
It's kind of just the rule. At some point, we have to. Oh, the digital background removal. She's saying.
That's
right, because she had a digital background last time, and
to hide. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily mind the background, other than the fact that I probably should have made that bed beforehand, because this is the master bedroom. But like I said, I have to maintain the kayfabe because my show has kayfabe. It's weird, and anytime people come on my show, they have to participate in the kayfabe. So what's kind of funny is when you guys come on my show, it's more like you're playing the MIFV version of yourselves, which is basically the same, except you get into shenanigans with me on the island.
That's true.
Or at a haunted South Korean the theme park.
Yeah.
I'm not a lonely ghost girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say where a lonely ghost girl thinks Jacob is literally a dog. And then we introduce her to a kitsune, and she's like, "Oh, puppy," and then she leaves you alone.
Yes, thankfully.
That was an actual thing that happened. It says Cell Nation. Go dig through the MIFE archives and go find that.
First of all, at the very least, Grant, I think you should go listen to Nate's to the Monster Island Film Ball.
Yes.
But at the very least, you need to listen to most of the beginning and ending of the first couple seasons, and then the standalone story episodes, because Nate actually has a pretty decent story going on over there.
Yeah, well, and like I said, that was during the world tour season where we weren't on the island, we were going around the world. So I was doing research on what's interesting tourist spots in the different countries that we visit on the show. And I was looking at stuff in South Korea, and it said, "Oh, there's an abandoned theme park that people think is haunted because supposedly a little girl died there. And so they think her ghost haunts the place. So, and people like to go visit it just to see what happens." I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's not
I know what them Cellcast boys and I are doing.
while we're in town covering, I don't remember which movie we were recording.
That was Godzilla the series Monster Wars, if I remember.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because basically, anytime I do anything animated, I'm calling you guys. And the only time there might be an exception is if it's anime, and then I might call Bex.
That's fair.
You guys should do a crossover with Bex.
I need to be paying more attention to Bex's stuff because I keep missing her shows. So
who's this?
Redeemed Otaku. Another show.
Okay.
On. Granted, I've only listened to a couple episodes of her stuff. So
yeah, she just put out a 2-part episode going over the Big O.
Oh, I remember that show. I remember being disappointed as second season started coming out.
It has Batman the Animated Series connections because a lot of people who worked on it also worked on Batman the Animated Series, and it was clearly influenced by that show if you just look at its art style.
Oh yeah.
And I loved the first season, and then season 2
was like what?
Season 2 turns into Evangelion Light, and I'm like, that's not what I signed up for.
That's because that's the season being funded by Cartoon Network, and they probably said, let's make this Evangelion like.
I was just like, why?
Steve Bloom's character, get the stupid robot.
No, he commands the robot with a wristwatch.
I know.
He doesn't get in the robot. He gets on his wristwatch. He gets on his Apple Watch and says, "Big O, break its face," and it goes. And it does.
True.
With his sidekick Robo Girl.
I was gonna say, and he had an android girl who was in love with him.
Of course,
she was an interesting character.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, and then his art.
I was watching that when it was on Adult Swim, and so by that point of the night, I was probably just more like, I'm staying up late to watch cartoons.
Yeah,
I tried to go back and watch it when it went up somewhere recently, and it's like, this is not the show I remember.
Yeah, and the original
it was like not Cowboy Bebop. What is that other show we just did? Outlaw Star, where I saw the episodes out of order, which were fine, but then I tried to watch it in order. And that's not the show I remember.
The things I had to do so I could come on to talk about Outlaw Star. That thing, I watched it in its entirety on Hulu, and then it got taken off of Hulu. So I had to invest in the mother trucking Blu-rays.
Trucker hat.
I've done
we haven't even gotten to the trucker hat. I know. Yet. Okay.
Sorry, dinner. Come on.
Eat your dinner, you brilliant cover artist, you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Because every time, man, when I've been sharing that Ultraman New cover around, and people are losing their freaking minds over it.
Well, thank you. And again, if they want commissions, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just like, I don't know. I can't wait to see what you do with the rest of this. I will admit, I was not anticipating you giving Apollyon a Thagomizer. That amused me to no end. I've never pictured him with a Thagomizer. There's nothing that says he doesn't have it. And if I wanted to be pedantic, I'd say get rid of it, but it was too amusing to say no.
No, to be honest, to be transparent, I didn't know what a Thagomizer was. I was like, what is he talking about? It's like, oh, okay.
Well, okay.
It's one of the coolest things to come out of newspaper strips. And
I was going to say, there's a funny story behind this.
Yes.
All right, here you go. Here you go, live viewers and
this is what you should be
patrons.
This
is what you pay for.
Live streams.
The word Thagomizer was invented by the creator of The Far Side in one of his comic strips.
Really?
It was made as a joke. He was making up a word that sounded scientific, and it was about dinosaurs, and it's the spikes on the tail.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what it was called.
He didn't know what it was called. He just made up a word. And then the scientific community was so amused by that they made it the official term. Like,
I mean,
it
they
is
didn't
now
have a
an
name
official
for it.
term.
They didn't have a name for it anyways, so
True.
might as well use that one.
Yeah,
It's as good as anything.
so they use that. Also, Thagomizer sounds like a great name for a metal band. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Rah, 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 dinosaur. Rah, 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 dinosaur.
Open the floor.
You
Everybody
jest.
do the dinosaur. Anyways,
No, you jest, guys. But I have discovered, thanks to my friend Ryan Collins, the Omniviewer, that there is a power metal band that makes albums about tokusatsu-style dinosaurs fighting ninjas from outer space. They are called Victorious. Look them up. It's glorious.
What are they called?
Victorious.
Oh, Victorious. Okay.
Yeah. That's the name of the band is Victorious. And I think they just put out a new album. And I've been listening to their music and I'm like, I may have to buy these because like their early albums were, kind of typical power metal. And then they started making stuff that was very tokusatsu inspired. And they created this entire universe and plot line that has space ninjas. And,
that just sounds right up your alley, Nate.
Yeah. It's got space ninjas and sentient dinosaurs, and some of the songs that actually make homages in the middle of them. Like I think it was in the first time they did it was in an EP. I think it's called like the Dinosaur War or something like that. And in the middle of the song, it subtly turns it into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It turns into Goku Power Rangers. Yeah, it turns into Goku Power Rangers and then goes back. And they don't sing anything; they just play the melody. Just play the melody and then it goes back. And then there was another.
all you got to do is do the dun 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 dun. And then
it was like a full minute.
Oh wow!
Where they did it, and then there was another song on one of the later albums where when it started, it was "Holy Diver" by Dio.
Interesting.
And then it went to their actual song. I was not prepared for that, but I have discovered that I really like power metal.
So when you say power metal, are you talking like 80s power ballad, or what are you talking about? What do you refer to?
Have you ever heard Dragon Force?
Yes.
That's power metal.
Oh, okay.
It's fast, it's melodic. It usually has the songs are usually about fantasy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Another good example, like Dragon Force Victorious, another good one that I haven't dived into quite as much is called Beast in Black, but Ryan made me aware of it because they made a little browser game to go with a song they made called One Night in Tokyo. And spoiler warning, you're playing through it. It's a beat 'em up like Final Fight.
Yeah.
And if you manage to, it's only one level, but if you get to the end, for some inexplicable reason, Mechagodzilla is the final boss.
Okay, then.
Mechagodzilla or basically Mechagodzilla?
It's actual Mechagodzilla.
Because I would assume Toho would say no, yo.
No-ho, yeah.
There's certain words I try not to use on the show.
Yeah, well, it just rhymes, dude. Okay,
I know.
It's fine. It's not what you think it is. To quote the one movie that Roy thinks is perfect, it does mean what you think it means, or it doesn't mean what you think it means.
That's not Roy. That's PaulJPowers.com. And that's why they haven't reviewed it, because he's afraid that if he has to review the movie critically, he'll not like it as much.
Which movie are we referring to?
Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. It's like, that's an incredible movie.
It's a great movie. I would love to do it.
My wife particular be like, apparently
I've read the book.
In high school, be like in high school, she had to watch the movie during theater class the entire time, the entire semester. And so she just kind of grew dull of it. And so she hasn't watched it ever since.
Yeah.
So I got to, at one point, it's like, hey, we're going to watch Princess Bride.
When you overdose on one movie, it does kind of kill it for you for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
my younger brother, the exact same thing, it'd be like Back to the Future, because I watched that constantly when I was a kid. So it was like, I've seen it a dozen times. Why do I want to watch it again?
Yeah. I will say, you Drew, you said you've read the book. I have as well. And for me, The Princess Bride is one of the rare exceptions to the book is always better rule. For me, it breaks even. I can't pick one or the other.
I agree with that too, almost to the point where I consider the book and the movie different beasts. Obviously, the Wesley Buttercup story is the same. It's adapted fairly well with some understandable differences, but the rest of it is a whole different thing. It's just almost an entirely different beast.
Not entirely. A lot of the stuff for the side characters is the same. It's just more expanded in the book. The ending is different, though.
The ending is different.
The ending of the book is weird.
Well, that's the other thing. I will say this if anyone is ever tempted to read The Princess Bride. Because probably if you're going to find a copy of it anywhere, it's going to be it's going to be based off the 35th anniversary edition. Do not read the forewords to the 35th or the 30th edition until after you have read the whole book, because all of the forewords are in canon. So read the original foreword, but not the other two.
It's weird.
It is the forwards to the 30th and the 35th, which you do need to read the 30th first and then the 35th when you get to that point, are assuming you've read the book and have watched the movie.
Yeah, it is wild, but I have a short list. Like, this would be an interesting discussion to have. Like, what are your exceptions to the book is always better? I have a few that break even, and then I have a few that I would point to and say, nope, the movie's better. Some I would even say, don't even bother with the book. Just watch the movie.
A lot of times I'd have to double check on some books to see which ones are movies based on the books, and which ones are novelizations of movies.
Yeah, I get that too. Because
I will tell you that between the two, the novelization of Revenge of the Sith is far better than the movie.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't read the novelization yet, and I've heard the same thing.
It handles Anakin's fall psychologically so much better.
Yeah, I've heard some similar things for the MonsterVerse novelizations as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like the two that come to my mind right now, there's three that I would say, nope, movie is better. One is Jaws, which is a little weird to say. And the big reason I say that, and I don't care if I spoil this novel, is weirdly enough, the movie is actually follows the book really closely, except for two things, and they're related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the ending is different too, because Spielberg is like, I'm gonna blow up the shark. You can't blow up the shark. That would be silly. If the audience is with me up to this point, I can do whatever I want.
Honestly, I don't mind blowing up the shark.
Yeah, because in the novel, spoiler warning, it's basically the same. It comes down to the sheriff, and they've done all the damage to it, and he starts shooting at it, and it's charging right at him to get him. And then finally, in the novel, it just succumbs to its injuries and sinks.
And that's disappointing. It's more realistic, but that's disappointing.
Yeah. But the thing that killed the novel for me, and I almost wanted to quit because I kept like yelling at the book, was a completely unrelated subplot takes over the middle portion of the book where Hooper, Hooper, right? He's the shark
Hooper.
guy. He has an affair with Brody's wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Why is this happening? Go back. I'm here for the shark. Why has a trashy romance novel taken over the shark book?
They almost shot that for the movie. They almost did.
The author had a weird thing he was working through and didn't go back and delete it later. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. But here's the thing. I think I would have been willing to forgive it if it had any bearing on the second half of the novel, which is when the three men go out onto the ocean to kill the shark.
Mm-hmm.
Except other than one awkward moment, it's never brought up again. And then Hooper spoiler warning, Hooper dies. The shark gets it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? This, it made me angry because I'm like, this is here just to pad this book out. It's stupid. If I was editing it, I would have told Mr. Benchley, get rid of this. It has no bearing on the rest of the book. Either you get rid of it or you make it relevant. Mm-hmm. And it was stupid because I'm like, I'm looking at this thinking there's potential for drama here. Like, he gets drunk, like Hooper gets drunk, and then he lets loose that he had an affair with his wife, and then that creates tension between them. Like, I could see how this could work, and they no. And then the other one would be the Poseidon Adventure. When I was reading the book, what really turned me off, and I don't say this flippantly, I think it actually had it was genuinely misogynistic because it was not kind to any of the female characters. And the greatest example of this is the high school girl, to put it politely, because we're a family show, gets violated by somebody on the ship, and she feels sorry for the guy who did it.
Oh, yeah.
To make it worse,
that's one of those things where you just go, this was a different time. Let's move on.
Well, and then what made it worse is the guy ended up freaking out and dying, and the only reason he felt guilty about it is because she was a passenger. And if she had been, he says, like, I thought you were one of the waitresses on the ship, and then that would have made it okay in his mind. It was like, this man is not well. And, and then he ended up dying. And then by the end of the book, she somehow knows that she's pregnant and is going to tell the child how great how great his father was. And I'm like, no, I hate it.
All she should say is your father died on the Poseidon, and then just never talk about it again.
Yeah, basically.
That's it.
One night fling, because basically that's what it would have been.
Yeah, and then the other one that I usually bring up is apparently a hot take.
Okay.
Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding.
The movie is old. The movie is okay.
The movie I feel actually makes the character likable.
That's one of its
because
the
book's
main
many
character
problems. In the book is like
a psychopath.
I mean the
first
prick. 3 chapters, he pretty much tells you this is why you should hate me. And gives out his whole thing, and then we're supposed to like him for the rest of the book.
The movie is only okay, but that makes it leagues better than the book. I hated the book so much because I'm like, why do people love this? Is it really just all this nostalgia bait?
Yeah,
because this is a horrendous.
To a degree, that's why the movie did as good as it did.
Well, yeah, but I'm just like, but this is a horrendous story. Is it really just the veneer? And apparently that was the case, and people wised up to it because the sequel didn't do so well.
So
I hated the book. The only reason I kept reading it is because I was listening to a podcast called like 379 Pages We'll Never Get Back. It was a book club podcast with Mike Nelson and one of the Riff Tracks writers.
Oh yeah.
Who would read a couple of chapters and then they would get together and make fun of how stupid it was. That's the only reason I kept slogging through the book, was to hear them tear it apart. I hated it so much. And what drove me nuts is every time my writer brain kicks in and I'm like, oh wait, I know what he's going to do with this. With this nerdy idea, ooh, this will be cool. And then he doesn't do it at all. And I'm like, I hate you, book. I hate you so much. My go-to example.
Okay, well, we do need to get started soon.
I know. Just let me finish really quick.
Yeah, let him finish.
Because this wasn't in the movie. He finds, as like a super artifact or whatever, he finds the beta capsule. So like, okay, so he's going to turn into Ultraman. This is going to be cool. And then the main villain has freaking Mecha Godzilla, specifically Kiryu. And he goes out of his way to make this thing look unstoppable and super powerful. Like, oh, wait, I get it. He's going to use the artifact to become Ultraman, but now he's like, I can beat him, but I have to do it in 3 minutes, just like Ultraman. I see how this could be really exciting. He spends 2 minutes beating this guy up, making him look like a chump, and then demorphs with a minute left to go. I wanted to throw the book across the room. I wanted to find the author, take a hardback, and throw it at his head. I was so angry.
Well, then you should be glad that he was only able to get 3 books out before people decided they didn't care about him anymore.
Didn't he recently do Ready Player 2?
That's the sequel we're talking about that didn't sell at all.
Because I think people, I guess people wised up finally.
Yeah. Well, between that and Armada.
Yeah.
Armada was hot garbage.
I read the book.
I think the
Ready Player One was better than Armada.
Yeah, I think those podcasters have read those other two books, and that is the only way I will ever read them, is so I can hear those two guys make fun of it.
Anyway,
rant over. We're not even in the episode, and I'm rant mastering. But I got a rant master for later.
Rant master activated.
Might as well.
For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
You might as well. But there will be an on-air rant master in a weird section of the podcast.
Yes,
there's a reason.
So in that case, how about we get started?
Yeah.
The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who's just doing what he can to keep his eyes wide open. Welcome, Jacob.
Why, thank you. And I would hope to keep my eyes open. I'm like, ow, my eye. Ow, that hurt. Ow. I didn't see that flying kick. Ow. D-Lit, why didn't you tell me before that happened?
It wasn't on her radar.
Ugh. Yeah. Anyways, I'll have that black eye for a week. Anyways, hi. Let me introduce my co-host, a man who just decided to go to Mars and then was declared dead, and he comes back from life for some reason. Welcome, Drew.
And see, I just thought I was going to plant potatoes in the Martian soul and technically literally become a Martian because I colonized Mars.
There you go.
Wait, that's a different book.
Yes.
Anyway, also joining us tonight is a man who, he just loves flying ancient planes that should not be in the air, especially on Mars. Welcome, Nate.
Sir, that's what my intrepid producer does. I know you love old planes because they're almost as old as you. Oh, calm down. Anyway.
He would at least fix them up so they didn't explode right after takeoff like that one did.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was in the Air Force. Come on. Show some respect there, guys. But I do have to ask you guys a question. As residents of the Lone Star State, how do you say useless in Texan?
Bless your heart. Technically, that's also Southern, but
that's also a very Southernism.
But I heard it growing up here, and that's pretty much you idiot. You're useless.
Yeah. Can you pass that along to the femme fatale who went around and was shooting off her gun, threatening the weather, climate control?
You think people? I'm going to even get anywhere near Faye Valentine?
I'm just saying she has a question. I know she shot up an arcade, but still,
I keep wanting to call her my Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know why.
Because maybe he wants to be,
I mean, they're both hot women with the last name Valentine, but one plays children's card games while the other kills children's games.
She's just looking for her
donkey. I was almost a Sparky donkey.
Now that everyone's confused at what that means if they haven't watched the movie yet.
Yes.
Tonight, we are reviewing the film Cowboy Bebop, the movie. The hardest film we have ever had to find on this show.
Amen to that.
What are you talking about? I have the DVD. The DVD is not hard to come by.
Well,
it's not local.
Yeah. Be like, well, Nate, what you could have done is watched it earlier and then sent it this direction that we both would have watched it and we would send it back to you.
Sir, you are in charge of the info and stuff. You are going to tell us how much it costs to buy the DVD on Amazon. If you found it on Amazon, all you had to do was click the little buy button and solve your problem.
Except he didn't find that till Thursday.
No, I'd be like, hold on. I'd be like, I did not realize the issue until Thursday.
Yeah, because you bought a UK Blu-ray and were completely ignorant of Blu-ray regions.
And I don't think the PS4 is region, pal. And I don't think the PS4 is region free.
Although I will admit, in Jacob's defense, I have been a little bit confused because I have purchased a few Blu-rays that were labeled region B, and they still played in both my PS4 and my PS5. I have no idea how, but they did.
Yes,
because secretly they were region locked. They weren't region locked.
Probably.
They just put the little B on the thing and didn't bother and just used the same disc everywhere that went.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that is nice about Blu-rays is that they have different region locks than DVDs did. And guess what? This is relevant for you guys.
Because Japan is in the same region as the
United States. America are in the same one. I don't know why, but they were in the same region as Blu-ray.
If we're being honest, that's probably why they haven't actually released a Blu-ray of this film in the United States yet. So that the Japanese people will still have to buy the super expensive version because Sony was involved in this.
Yes, but that was good for me because I was able to buy the Japanese Blu-ray. I had to pay through the nose, but I bought the Japanese Blu-ray for Ultraman The Adventure Begins, and so did you to be on my show.
Yes. But that has nothing to do with Cowboy Bebop, the movie. But why don't we go ahead and get into our spoiler-free review of this?
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
And Nate, since you are our guest, why don't you go first? Do you want me to hit the button now?
No, I will let you know when you need to hit the button, sir. This will be the weirdest instant. I think this might be the first and maybe the only time.
The first time we've played it in the spoiler-free section.
In the spoiler-free section. But I just going to throw it out there. Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite animes. And admittedly, there's a big dose of nostalgia that goes along with it. And it's because when I was in college, that's when I feel like I got, as I put it, the proper introduction to anime. Now, I had seen things growing up that I found out later were anime.
Right.
Things like, like Pokemon and Digimon and, some of those other popular shows that, you don't realize until, you don't know unless you know that it's actually anime or Japanimation. That's just one of the dumbest terms ever invented. But
Japanimation was not used seriously by the time I was watching anime.
Yeah. So. But regardless, when I got to college, I had a proper introduction. And one of the first shows that I was shown by a friend who I considered to be something of an anime expert was Cowboy Bebop. The other one was Evangelion. You want to talk about getting thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, those two shows.
So regardless, I fell in love with the show. So
when giving you a Yu Yu Hakusho to at least even you out or something like that.
Dragon Ball Z, that was
Dragon Ball Z, yes.
Yeah. But so I fell in love
with
the Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the show. So when I knew about the movie, we were all really excited about it. And I think it might have, Jacob will probably tell us if it got any sort of theatrical run at first, but I ended up watching it the first time on DVD when I was still in college. And I loved it then. I've seen it multiple times since then. I don't know exactly how many times. All right, hit the button.
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
All right. I had the privilege of seeing this movie in a movie theater.
Nice.
For a Fathom event. I was stoked about this because I'm like, oh man, seeing this and hearing the Yoko Kanno score on giant speakers and seeing all the details, everything on the big screen. I was psyched about this. I sit down, the movie starts, and then we have the first problem that nobody in anywhere in the advertising warned me about this, and it baffled me because why are you doing this? It was in Japanese.
Oh, it's the subtitled one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. So it's in Japanese, and I'm like, okay, I've watched it in Japanese before with subs. It's okay. This is like one of the few animes that 90+% of otakus say, nope, the dub is better. In fact, I think even the Japanese creators like, yeah, the dub is better.
Such as the power of Steve Bloom.
Yeah, well, the entire cast, but we'll get into that. So, like, okay, it's in Japanese. I'll deal with it. That's fine. It's still got the music and everything, and it's fine. I don't know who did those subtitles, but they need to be slapped repeatedly. Because they are not the same subtitles that are on the DVD. And I'm not talking about the translation. I am talking about presentation. These subtitles, Drew, you work as a graphic designer, so you will understand. The subtitles were white with no outline.
Oh, yeah, I already see your problem.
So there are shots in this movie where the subtitles all but disappear into the image.
Making it impossible to read.
Yeah, it was impossible to read. And if not for the fact that I have seen this so many times that I know exactly what's happening, I would have, if I had popcorn, I would have thrown my popcorn at the screen. It made me angry. It's like, who approved this?
Nobody who actually watched the whole film.
Who approved this print? Who thought, oh, let's put this out, in Japanese with subs, when obviously the people who love Cowboy Bebop want the dub. This is one of the rare times. Give us the dub. We don't need subtitles for this one.
But then they'd have to pay royalties.
But then, maybe. But then I'm like, okay, fine. You're going to put out the subtitle version? Then make sure the subtitles can be read. Who was in charge of this print and its subs? Smack them and then fire them.
What it is whoever made that approval, they didn't actually watch the whole thing to make sure it was all done correctly. I'm surprised it stayed timed with what was being said, to be honest. If it isn't, you would have said so already.
Yeah, no, the timing was fine. It was just the fact that there were points where the subs were impossible to read. And I'm like, this is such a failure on presentation because,
which tells me
the DVD has proper subtitles and you can read them. They are always readable. I have watched enough subtitled stuff at this point that I know bad subs when I see them, and I know what's the best way to do subs. If you want to see a casebook study on how to properly do subtitles, I don't care if it's for tokusatsu, anime, or whatever, look at anything released by Discotheque Media, at least in the last 10 years. I have an old Discotheque DVD. Yes, I know it's about the war in space, the most important chapter of your life. But anyway, that's an old DVD. But you look at their Blu-rays, their subs are brilliant.
Oh yes, that's why I'm glad I have the Discotheque Media version of Lupin the Third instead of the Castle Cagliostro instead of the G Kids version.
Yes, the dialogue subs are yellow with a very clear outline, so they don't. So the color already isn't going to blend in the stuff, and then they still put an outline on it so that you can see them. The song lyrics are at the top of the screen, and then they're in blue, so you can still read it. And I kid you not,
I would be willing to bet that they even do a good job of putting the Japanese signage and having those subtitles.
Yeah, they do.
It's actually they do. Said.
They do. But one of the most brilliant
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I have opinions about your current service, which is why I dropped you.
But one of the things that blew my mind, and for what I understand, the Discotheque guys came from originally came from the fan subbing sphere. So that might explain some of the reasons why they do what they do. I kid you not. There was an episode of Kamen Rider Black on their set. They had a subtitled footnote to explain something.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes by really fast. You kind of have to pause it to see it. But I'm guessing it was like, you know what? We can't really translate this in a way that it makes sense. So we're just going to put in this footnote to explain what it means. And I'm like,
it's almost like
what?
It's almost like a piece of art, no matter how silly or goofy or stupid or dumb it is, should be approached from a place of passion and not from a place of how much money we can rip out of the customer.
Yeah.
I have opinions.
So anyway, spoiler warning. I love this movie. But that theater experience was awful. That was one of the worst theater experiences I've ever had.
It could have been worse, actually. Look up how how they originally showed the first Attack on Titan movie and how the subtitles jammed on one line, and it stayed that way for the whole movie.
Oh no!
Oh gosh!
When they first did a theatrical release of it, I didn't see it because I don't like Attack on Titan myself. But I read about that. It's like, oh, that's just a failure on all levels.
Yeah, if I was in one of those screenings, depending on what the line was, I would have sat there and just cracked jokes the entire time.
Oh, the line, if I remember correctly, and this is one of those things I remember just because it's stupid. It's like it was something along the line of "Today's going to be a glorious day." It's like right before like the Titans attack.
It's stuck like, there with everything else.
As that big first Titan is destroying that town and everyone's running for their lives. I've never seen the movie. I've just seen the first episode that I vowed never to watch the show again.
Are you talking about the live action movie or the anime
movie?
Oh wow!
I actually just saw that not too long ago.
So yeah,
for the first time. So
I
would have that would have been. I'm
just remembering this from an article I read 8 years ago. So
you know, it was Funimation who put that Blu-ray out. If I was Funimation, I think I would have tried. I think as a joke, as a reference to that, I think I would have made a subtitle track that's called "Today is a Glorious Day." So and that's what it does. It gets to that point and then it jams and then it just sticks there the entire time.
I kind of like that idea, but either way.
Anyway, I've eaten up enough of this portion. So let's
Jacob, what are your spoiler-free thoughts on this film?
Mine is trying to erase something I put in my hand for notes.
What the heck? Are you in high school?
I don't have a piece of paper, so I'm gonna write it in my hand.
He's writing notes on his hand. He's like,
exactly. That's
dude, you're not supposed to write notes on your hand. You're supposed to write the pretty girl's phone number on your hand. That's how this works.
He already is married. If he's writing pretty girls' numbers
before, bro.
on his hand, he's gonna get in really big trouble.
Write her. Maybe his wife got a new cell phone with a new number. He's got to write the number down.
Anyways, be like kind of going to Nate's experience. Be like, I started watching Cowboy Bebop when it was on. I think what was that?
Adult Swim.
Tsunami.
When it came on Tsunami.
See, I remember it going straight to Adult Swim, but I could be wrong.
It was on Tsunami.
Might have been the late edition of.
Yeah, it was the late night edition. It was on Adult Swim. So I remember watching that in my senior year, and I was like, okay, this is an interesting show. And then I think Drew gave me the DVD.
I had an extra copy of the Blu-ray that I just gave you of the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Somehow I had gotten 2 and I decided to spread the wealth.
Yeah, which I deeply appreciate. So I watched the entire thing. I'm like, this is absolutely freaking phenomenal. And I kept hearing about this movie over and over again. Like, I think in like Wizard Magazine, they promote that all the time because I bought that every month because, again, I'm a comic book art nerd. So I proceeded to like Cowboy Bebop. I love it. I love the characters. I love the story. It's got so much more. It's like, okay, this is different. This is a different beast than anything else has gone on. And again, like back then, they compared everything to Cowboy Bebop. Everything.
It was the show.
Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo was made by
the same people.
Same people.
It's the same people.
Same director.
Exactly. but it wasn't the same caliber. It wasn't the same caliber as
No,
Cowboy
but
Bebop.
it was at least kind of it was like a spiritual successor to Cowboy
Yeah,
Bebop, where
anyway.
instead of it being science fiction with jazz, it was samurai with rap.
Yeah, with hip hop. Yeah. But overall, Bill, I really enjoyed it. And like when it came to this movie, it was like, okay, how are we going to watch this? Because one, I'll get all that info and stuff. I actually found the event you were talking about just a minute ago, Nate. And I'll get in that in a minute. Hint why I was writing on my hand. Now my hand's purple.
If your hand is purple, you might want to let some blood circulate in there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You sure you didn't hit him with the Grimace Ray? You're sure?
Grimace Ray?
From like McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
See, I got it, but okay.
You're saying it might have been the Blu-ray? Like from last week?
Oh.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that will
the
be
Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray. Okay.
Dila, that pun is so bad.
Anyways,
why is Dealit so quiet until I'm on?
She didn't always have a reason to come up.
That is true.
Oh, you don't want to interrupt us half the time, but Nate's energy just transmits over to you. I see.
Oh, geez.
Gotcha.
So basically, whenever I'm on the show as the unofficial third co-host, it's basically a panel of 5 because Dealit suddenly wants to talk and Jimmy won't shut up. Oh, come on. Anyway.
Yeah. So finally figuring out, it's like, be like, let's watch this movie for the review. I put it on the list and it's like, you know what? This sounds like a great idea. Did not realize how much this thing would cost to rent.
Or the fact that it's not actually available to rent.
It's not available anywhere. You have to buy it. Now, granted, be like, I learned later, again, you live and learn, right? That certain, like the Region 2 Blu-ray will play
Region B.
Region B.
Okay,
but Region B won't actually, it's not supposed to play in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be Europe.
Yeah. But I will say, in Jacob's defense, even though I'm going to make fun of you for years about this, I have added some Blu-rays to my collection and in the film vault that are labeled Region B, and they still play in what I assume are Region A players, namely my PlayStation 4 and my PlayStation 5.
Yes.
How? I don't know, unless they are in fact region free. They're just not telling anybody.
Maybe Sony thinks the whole thing is stupid at this point and just upgraded everyone to region free.
Who knows?
Because unfortunately, the state of physical media does mean most people don't watch on Blu-ray anymore.
That is
well. Here's the thing.
So let's make it easier for the people who do.
Well, here's the thing. 4Ks are not region locked.
Yes, because they realized it was stupid.
It took them 3 times, really. Unless you include any of the weird disc formats that didn't catch on. But, it took them DVDs and then Blu-rays to think, you know what? Region locking's stupid.
True.
And if you think Blu-ray doesn't make sense, DVD makes less sense because there's like 7 regions. Only 4 of them are worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
I mean, at least with DVDs, it kind of made sense because the DVDs in Europe needed to be on PAL and not NTSC. But then you're getting into tech stuff I don't care about. So,
So, anyways, I watched the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were parts where it was like, this seems a little long in the tooth. Now, it might be my short attention span, squirrel. But overall, I really enjoyed it. There's oh, okay, I didn't expect that to happen. It's like, oh, okay, but why is this happen? This makes no sense to me. Maybe I'll help, maybe my co-hosts and our special guest can help me understand it better. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie and I would highly recommend it. Now, granted, like we just said before, if you are interested, it is available. It is not too pricey on Amazon, but if you can play it on your PS4 and PS5, shouldn't be a problem.
That being said, do double check your local DVD reseller first, because it's probably cheaper there.
Probably. I tried mine; they didn't have it.
Yeah, that which is unfortunate. Or maybe people are just like, I'm not giving this up. What are you talking about?
That is fair. That is fair, because this is Cowboy Bebop we're talking about.
Yeah, this is Cowboy Bebop. It's not like they have a proper Blu-ray to to upgrade to or anything like that, unless you're in England or Australia.
Well, that's because Bonga Entertainment didn't have any issue putting it out.
Yeah, apparently. Also,
but Sony has no excuse.
Yeah. Also, I hate to derail the conversation here a little bit, but Artsy, did you have a stroke? I see the comment in the chat.
I think she was trying to say. I think she was just showing laughter.
Yeah,
because it does end with haha.
Yeah, that is very much an Artsy.
Yeah, but I just it looks like a stroke before that.
Oh, I get it. So just note of fact would be like, if you ever write in your hand and you use Young Living Thieves hand sanitizer to rub it off, it starts burning.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the peppermint is in my nose from here.
That is fair. That is fair.
It's gonna smell like this when I get back from visiting my parents this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that as like K said Hifiasad ha.
Anyhow,
Fahugu gods.
I said, come on, Fahugu gods. Come on, Fahugu gods. Ask my friend Joe why I asked my friend Jake. They said it was Fahugu gods. Jacob has no idea what we're talking about.
Everybody to the limit. The cheat is to the limit.
Everybody come on, Fahugu gods.
What the heck's going on?
It's a
Somebody
keyboard.
Did not
it's
watch early 90s, early 2000s internet.
No, I didn't.
Because the only Homestar Runner he has actually seen were the 2 episodes of Cheat Commandos I made him watch.
Cheat Commandos by all our playsets and toys.
They are fighting for freedom, and our sets are sold separately.
Yeah, she says it was a keyboard slam and then laugh. Okay,
gotcha. Okay.
Which also makes me think of Homestar Runner when he, when he had the sisters, and he's like, and he gets frustrated and he slams his head, and it says, instead of gibberish, it says head hit keyboard.
Yes. Although I went straight to virus with ERT plus Y76B. Oh, you wait. What is this? Did the quadratic formula explode? Anyway.
What are your spoiler-free thoughts?
Yes. My spoiler-free thoughts. My spoiler-free thoughts. I back in the day, and I was in high school, and Adult Swim was coming on I want to say, because they only showed Cowboy Bebop one night a week.
The early 2000s.
Yes. In the year 2000.
That's right.
Like literally.
Why are we sharing a brain?
I don't know.
That's scary.
I want to say it came on Saturday nights and on Adult Swim back in the day. And so literally I would watch whatever came on before then. It would be the last thing I'd watch before I'd shut it off, because they would not show this thing till like midnight my time. And I stayed up and watched Cowboy Bebop when I caught it a couple times, because it's like, oh, this is kind of a cool show. I've never heard of this. This is kind of awesome. I like the music, because let's face it, Tank and Real Folk Blues are just amazing songs.
Oh,
yes.
And the soundtrack for the show is absolutely amazing.
The
seatbelts are literally still in my Spotify playlist because of the show.
There are days I think Cowboy Bebop is the perfect anime.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
And we don't talk about the Netflix show, but
oh god,
there was a Netflix show.
No, there wasn't a Netflix show.
Of course not.
Okay.
There is no war in Bossing Say.
I was worried there for a second,
and it didn't. It didn't start Hulu from the new Star Trek.
Yeah,
I was just worried because I feel like I had like a Nom flashback where I watched the first episode of a live action Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, and then I was tortured by being forced to watch the finale. and I hated every second of it.
Yeah, that didn't actually happen.
Okay. That's a
if
relief.
it did, it must have gotten thrown into the bottom shelf's dumpster fire, and stuff that lands in there just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Throw back to another show.
Yeah.
On the network.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, not on the network, but anyway, connected to the
Netflix
network.
or something like that.
Well, the Culture Box network.
Wrong network.
Yes. Someone wasn't following my thought process.
I was trying to make it.
Does this surprise you at all?
Hey! I'm just saying, he has ADHD. I have 90s kid attention span.
And then you have Jimmy, who's just agrees with everything. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, with all of it. Yeah.
Anyway, so I watched that show growing up or in high school, and it was just this was like the last of my first trip through the anime verse before I kind of fell off. I mean, yeah, I watched Outlaw Star came out sometime after that, and I watched that, and there were a couple other shows, but this was right as I was kind of breaking off of that first Dragon Ball Z fueled anime time, and then I kind of fell off for a couple years, and then before I came back to watching anime. So this is one of those shows I always remembered because this is still at the height of the anime boom, and when they were more making shows for the Western audience than they were for Japan. And so I think I'd heard of this movie from that time, but I never watched it. Right. And I didn't even find out about it until 2-3 years ago.
What?
And even then in my mind, I think I was confusing it with the Trigun movie that came out about 10-15 years ago.
Rumble.
Badlands Rumble. For whatever reason, those were mixed in my head because I was thinking,
does it make sense? But okay,
it's one of those things where I hadn't seen the movie and just had it weirdly mixed. I can't say it made sense, but it's like,
does anything make sense?
It's 2000s anime movie.
Maybe in your brain, sir.
Either way, you
I will break you.
Pinky.
You'd be like, you may try, sir. You may try.
Anyway, so when Jacob put this on the list, it's like, Cowboy Bebop the movie. That could be fun. We probably should have done the TV show before this, but
I was going to say you guys need to TAS the show.
We do.
It is probably on the short list. The problem is Batman is long.
That is true.
We didn't realize how long.
Batman is long and Spy Family's coming back. We get it, but
I mean, eventually there's a third season I haven't watched it now.
Cowboy Bebop, TAS that. Now
it is on the short list of things to put up for vote.
Well, okay. Dragon Ball Abridged. I get it.
Well, Dragon Ball Z Abridged is coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out
this
anyway.
year. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just gonna make a suggestion. Be like, we do Cowboy Bebop, and then we do SWAT Cats.
You realize we still have, having voted, and we would say we would do these next.
Just put on the next.
Star Trek the Animated Series, Gravity Falls, and then one other one you put on there that's completely left my mind right now.
Yeah.
You guys should also do Sherlock Hound because that would allow you to talk more about Miyazaki.
At some point, yes, there's another one that's come out. That's the problem when we've had these long shows, is that we get a list of things we need to do,
and then we add to that,
and then we never will get to it because Batman is long, X-Men was long,
X-Men was freaking long. Oh my god,
we were not thinking this through clearly when we put those on the list. We were just like, that would be a cool show to watch.
But we're nearly done with Batman. We are nearly done,
and then we have one heck of a appetite cleanser, palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser.
Lots of vegetables.
Appetite cleanser. Isn't that what isn't that called Ozempic?
Well, I just know that the fajitas are going to go bad because of the freezer.
Yeah, exactly. But
anyway,
by the way, I do support watching SWAT Cats because
it's the last Hanna-Barbera.
Because we can play the odds on that, and if I come on for any of those episodes, more than likely we're going to talk about a kaiju because SWAT Cats is a secret kaiju show. As someone who has seen it, I'm like, There's almost no episodes without a kaiju or a giant robot.
Getting back on the plot or the flow of the show.
What flow? What plot?
I say there's no plot, but there definitely is a flow that we really should be staying with.
Continue. I'm
just saying if this show were a stream, instead of it being a relatively straight line, it's got so many bends, it's backed up on itself.
You know what? I don't know what it is.
River.
I don't know what it is. I come on your guys' show and suddenly I am a chaos lord. I don't know what it is.
The three of us,
the problem.
The three of us don't know how to shut up. That's the problem. True. And we feed into each other.
Oh, what was that, Jimmy? Sure, add chaos lord to my job description.
Well, I mean, if he talks to the right people there on the island,
that is true.
I would have some serious competition for Chaos Lord.
That's true. That's true.
Anyways, back to your non-spoiler.
So I had no idea really what I was getting into. I did not know the plot. I just knew Cowboy Bebop. We're gonna have Steve Bloom being in his iconic role. We're gonna have Wendy Lee. We're gonna have other people whose names I didn't remember.
Bo Billingsley.
Bo Billingsley. Yeah. We're gonna have Ed. And we're gonna have the world's smartest corgi, and they're going to get into shenanigans that are going to be both deeply philosophical and hilarious at the same time.
Because that's how this show
is. That's Cowboy Bebop.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hilariously, when we watch this, I actually you have to watch the whole credits.
Yes,
it's not just that there's a post credit. There's stuff happening in the credits. There's original animation throughout the credits. Because this movie, I didn't realize this until I watched it, for this show. This movie is in love with montages, and the credits are a montage. And
this could be called Montage the Movie.
Yeah, almost. And like if you thought Rocky loved montages, wow. But anyway, these montages aren't to compress time because this film still takes place over the course of 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway,
when it got to episodes of the show.
Yeah. When it got to the list of the English voice actors, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to read all of them, see if I recognize names. And then I discovered that Rita Repulsa and Rita Revolto have minor roles in this movie, that
makes sense. They work for Bang Zoom Entertainment, who handled the dub of this for Bandai.
Yeah. So yes,
you can probably find them on Akira.
Yeah. So Barbara Goodson and Bob Peppenbrook are in this movie.
You'll never figure out who they are.
It said Barbara Goodson. Barbara Goodson.
What I mean is you can't hear their voices in the roles they're playing.
Well, it said Barbara Goodson was an old lady, and both Lex Lang and Bob Peppenbrook were in a crowd scene.
Yeah, it's definitely like background characters you can probably barely hear anyway, but they're not major characters. Anyway, I didn't even think about it because I don't normally look up where to watch this until I get ready to watch the film. Until Jacob texts me late Saturday night, like right before I'm going to bed, and says, "Hey, have you watched the film yet? Do you know where you're watching it? Because we can't rent this anywhere." It's like, oh no, let me go look at this. And yeah, it's only available for purchase. And the cheapest place I found it at was Fandango at Home for $6.99.
See.
So, and that's now the only purchase I have on Fandango at Home.
Should have bought the DVD
years ago because it ain't anywhere in East Texas from what I can tell. Not even at half price. I don't know.
Amazon
Amazon
has 2-day shipping, sir.
I didn't have time to do that because Wednesday and Thursday were busy.
Okay.
Or actually, I probably could have Wednesday, but either way. And I like to have a couple days on a film to digest before the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I did enjoy the film. If you can find it somewhere, definitely suggest watching it. You might want to watch through the show first up until an episode I will list here in a few minutes.
I was going to ask you guys this because you've both seen the show, right?
It's been 20-ish years.
Okay. because I was pondering this
with the exception of maybe a 1 or 2 about 8 years ago.
Yeah, because I was pondering this while I was watching it this time. Do you think someone who has not seen the show could watch the movie and enjoy it?
I think there's going to be a lot of side characters that pop up in here you're not going to know, like most of the crew of the Cowboy Bebop.
I think if you be like, if you have no knowledge of Cowboy Bebop, you're probably going to get lost because you're not going to know like the subtle details of what's going on. But like, I mean, in general, the story,
the minute the Cowboy Bounty Hunter show pops on, you're just going to turn it off because you're going to, I have no idea what's going on now.
That is possible.
But
for the story, you'll probably enjoy it.
But in the movie's defense, most of the side characters and Big Shot, they get introduced pretty abruptly in the show.
Yeah, but you get used to them pretty quick. You get to understand it. This it's full screen for like a good minute or so, only for Faye to say, "How do you say useless in Texan?" and then turn it off. And admittedly, it does introduce some needed information, but if you don't know it's coming, it feels like a weird left turn. But either way, I enjoyed the film. Definitely, you should give it a shot, especially if you've seen Cowboy Bebop, the show. And you should go watch Cowboy Bebop, the show, anyway. Yes, the anime, not any other version that we don't think exists. So why don't we go ahead and get into the spoiler-filled section of this review before it gets any later tonight. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film Cowboy Bebop, the movie. Listener discretion is advised.
Is this the part where I issue an apology to Ashley?
Why?
I don't think it matters.
Because because Jacob has a curfew, he either turns into a pumpkin and releases a horrible bioweapon at midnight, or he turns into a werewolf or something.
No. We just have to keep an eye out for the text that will come about 11:30.
Oh no, be like she will
to me, not to him.
That is true. Like,
she'll text him to say, "Hey, where are you?" He will be too distracted by us talking to see it, and then I'll be looking at my phone while we're talking because I'm trying to do other. I'm 90s kid attention span,
right?
And go, "Hey, has Jacob gone home yet?" Anyway,
goofballs.
Cowboy. What?
Never mind.
What did you say?
I forgot what I said. Go ahead.
You said you think because I called you goofballs.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, what's new?
Thank you. Whoa.
Anyway, Cowboy Bebopu Tengoku no Tobira, aka Cowboy Bebop Knocking on Heaven's Door, aka Cowboy Bebop the movie.
Fair.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm actually mildly disappointed that they didn't keep. Yeah, that they didn't keep that because why that? But like the show, all the episode titles are music references or classic rock song titles.
Yeah. Because the movie was handled. The show was originally handled by Bandai Visual. The show was handled by Columbia TriStar, and TriStar was afraid of copyrights with what's his face that did Knocking on Heaven's Door.
No,
Bob.
No, I think it's no. It's not Bruce Springsteen.
It's Bob. I keep want to say Bob Hastings. It's not Bob Hastings.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
they're afraid of getting sued by Bob Dylan's people.
It was Bob Dylan, and it also
which I'll get to here in a minute.
Yeah, and it was covered by AC/DC and
so, I think Columbia.
No, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, that's right. Guns N' Roses. That's where everybody knows us from. Is Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Anyway, it was written and directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. It was also directed by Yoshiyuki Takei and also written by Keika Nobumoto. Getting into the English cast for this, we got Spike Spiegel, played by Steve Bloom, who played Zeb Aurelius in Star Wars Rebels and The Mandalorian, and was most recently in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
And he
which I just found out was filmed in East Texas partially.
Yeah, and he's also known for voicing Wolverine in a ton of projects.
Yes. Jet Black was played by Bo Billingsley. Mm-hmm. And in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, he played Barrett Wallace.
Yes, he did. By the way, Steve Bloom was also in Advent Children.
Yes, he was.
He was, ironically, a guy named Vincent.
Ironically, yes.
Named Vincent.
But this Valentine.
Well, this Vincent was a vampire, so maybe I still am confused on that. Faye Valentine was played by Wendy Lee, and in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, she was the voice of Scorpina.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is true. And fun fact, this is not the only time that her and I love this voice cast so much, so I know most of their credits, but there was another anime that she and Steve Bloom were in together, where they also, but in that one, he was a bad guy and she was his consort, and that was Rurouni Kenshin.
I do remember that show.
Yeah.
Edward Wong Hao Pepelu Tivreski, I probably said that wrong, the fourth, was played by Melissa Fawn.
Or just Ed.
Played by Melissa Fawn, and she played Gaz Membrane in Invader Zim.
She's been in a ton of stuff too.
She has.
Yeah. Vincent Villaju was played by Darren Norris, and he is the voice of Cosmo in The Fairly Odd Parents. I had to put that because that's way too different. That just shows this guy's range. If you've ever watched Fairly Odd Parents. Electro Ovilo was played by Jennifer Hale, and she recently played Jean Grey in X-Men 97.
Hot dang. By the way, it's Electri, not Electro.
I wrote it down wrong. My bad. Electra.
I was just like, Electro? Is she a Spider-Man villain?
Secretly, yes.
I was like, I was like, oh wait, is she Daredevil's girlfriend or a Spider-Man villain? Okay, which one are we doing here?
Either way, Rashid was played by Nicholas Guest. And have y'all seen Christmas Vacation?
Yes.
It's been you remember time. the yuppie couple that lived next door to them?
It's been a long time.
The husband, his name is Todd Chester, and he is the voice of Rashid.
Huh. Wild.
Lee Sampson played Dave Wittenberg. Sorry, Lee Sampson was played by Dave Wittenberg. I just read that backwards. And he was Yazoo in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Oh, who was he in Advent Children?
Yazoo.
Oh, okay.
One of the Sephiroth trio.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of Advent Children connections here.
That's because it was done by the same studio.
I was just saying, we're finding plenty of Final Fantasy connections, but
that is true.
Well, it is time to look at our Kingdom Hearts connections.
Speaking of that,
and because this is an anime, bear in mind we pull from both the English and the Japanese dub for this.
Oh man.
How many Kingdom Hearts connections do you think we have?
Funny enough, for what I've been told, the Japanese voice actor for Spike is also the voice of Lupin in Japanese.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But if you're gonna pull from both, I'm gonna say, oh man, we had all those Advent Children connections. Oh jeez. It's close.
Artsy Steph says 4.
Just to not be Steph, I'm gonna say 5.
Jacob?
I'm gonna go high, so let's go 7.
It's a good thing.
Final Fantasy 7.
It is a good thing that you went high, but you ironically you could have gone higher. 22. What?
What?
22 Kingdom Hearts connections.
Whoa. Even Jimmy is freaking out at this. Like, this has to be a record.
It is a record.
It's the most we've had so far. Because not even the Disney movies that Kingdom Hearts is based on.
Artsy clip that.
Yes.
Now,
what the frick?
I should say that while Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is included in this list, because as stated before, Smash Bros. Ultimate is technically a Kingdom Hearts game. Thank you, Tetsuya Nomura, for your stupid quote. They're not all Smash Brothers. There's actually not that many. So yeah, in the English version, we've got Jennifer Hale, who was, of course, Electra Ovara in this. She is the voice.
Said it right.
She is the voice of Cinderella, Princess Aurora, and the Deep Space Operator in Kingdom Hearts. Kirk Thornton, who was Steve in this, is the voice of Sax and Isa in Kingdom Hearts, and the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in Smash Brothers Ultimate. Crispin Freeman, who is the operator in this, plays
another big voice actor.
Plays Setzer Gabini and Will Turner in Kingdom Hearts. Bo Billingsley was Jet Black in this, and he plays Bosun in Kingdom Hearts. I'm assuming on the Pirates of the Caribbean level. Paul St. Peter plays Mark Rather in this, and he is the voice of Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts. Joe Oakman was additional voices in this, and he was Jiminy Cricket in Kingdom Hearts. Jameson Price was the Alba City Mayor and Analyzer B in this, and he's additional voices in Kingdom Hearts. Michelle Ruff was the cashier in this and was additional voices in Kingdom Hearts. And Wendy Lee was Faye Valentine in this and was additional voices in Smash Brothers Ultimate. And I want to point out that saying additional voices in Smash Brothers Ultimate is weird because nearly all of those characters have names that are in that thing, and I could not figure out who she voiced at all. I looked everywhere.
Okay. How many were on the Japanese side?
That's just the English.
I was just saying, how many were on the English side? How many were on the Japanese side?
There's 9 in English, list. 13 in Japanese.
Wow.
Dang.
So getting into the Japanese, Koichi Yamadera was Spike Spiegel in this. He is the voice of Genie, the Beast, Jock, Experiment 626, aka Stitch, and Donald Duck.
What?
Spike Spiegel in Japanese is the voice of Donald Duck.
And Stitch.
Yes. Kazuhiko Inouye was the voice of Shadkins in this, and he played Prince Eric in Kingdom Hearts. Unsho Ishizuka was Jet Black in this, and he played Captain Gontu in Kingdom Hearts, plus Incineroar, Venusaur, and Metagross, and Heihachi Mishima in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
3 Pokemon and a guy
the worst dad in fighting games.
Yes, the worst dad in fighting games, in video games in general.
No, I think he's got some competition, but
fair enough. Jirota Kosugi was Harris in this, and he played Tarzan in Kingdom Hearts. Kujira, which is the only name this lady has, was a lady in this and played Ursula in Kingdom Hearts. Yosuke Akimoto was the Crime Lab Group A in this and is Zaldan and Dylan in Kingdom Hearts. Takahiro Koyama was Laughing Bull in this and was the Doorknob and Cypher Almasi in Kingdom Hearts. Tsutomu Isobe was Vincent Villaju in this and Kevin Flynn and Clue in Kingdom Hearts.
There's a Tron connection.
There's 2 Tron connections.
Oh my gosh.
Tron and Tron Legacy.
What is with the through lines whenever I am on the show?
Katsuyuki Konishi was Robert D in this and is Deoxys and Snorlax in Smash Brothers. Megumi Hayashibara was Faye Valentine in this and is the voice of Porygon, Snivy, Arceus, Finnegan, and Spua in Smash Brothers Ultimate.
A lot of snarls and marls.
A lot of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Hoku Kawashima was the female cashier in this and was Mei Link in Smash Brothers Ultimate. Yuji Ueda was Lee in this and was Grey Ninja and Genesect in Smash Brothers. And Takashi Nakasako was Caster in this and Ganondorf in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Whoa.
Wow.
So yeah, all-star casts, at least when it comes to video games.
Jeez,
I don't think this record can be broken.
You never know.
You never know, because all we need is just a big cast at this point.
Wow.
That's just all voice actors.
Yes. Jacob, info and stuff, please.
All right. So IMDb has a 7.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has a 68 of its reviewer score, and its audience score is a 90. Now for streaming. Here's the fun part. So if you go to
as if we haven't already said this a
yes,
couple times.
we have, but I'm going to recap it because that's part of my job. All right. So if you want to stream this for, or at least buy it to own it on digital, you can go to
not really owning.
Yeah, we know.
It's renting till we say otherwise.
Exactly. So Fandango at Home app, you can purchase it for $7.99. And also, if you want to get even more expensive, you can go to Amazon Video for $14.99 and Apple TV for $12.99. Now, if you want a physical copy, here's the part.
Buy from Europe.
Buy from Europe. All right. So physical media, you can buy it on Amazon Prime for $19.98 on Blu-ray. This is a Region B version for the UK.
Purchased by Jacob Heron.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't buy it, but I will buy it now.
What?
I just hope it works in your PS4.
Okay. Hold on.
Who knows how well Manga Entertainment has handled that? Because that's
okay. Piccolo.
If it works, let me know.
I will let you know. If you have a
what's going to happen?
If you have
he's going to purchase this, and then Crunchyroll will release it on Blu-ray over here.
And then it'll be like, Nate?
Because that's what happened with Ultraman The Adventure Begins.
Very true. All right, so if you have a US PS4 or PS5, apparently it works.
Maybe.
If you want it on a DVD, which is Region A, which is United States and Japan.
Region 1.
Region 1.
No, it's Region A for Blu-ray.
Thank you.
No, I thought it was. I thought he was talking about.
No,
he was talking about DVD. It's Region
DVD.
1.
Oh, yeah, DVD is that's just USA then for Region 1.
Okay.
Because Japan is Region 2.
Okay. Nuance. If you want it for a DVD for yourself, it's $22.99. Production. Sunrise Productions, Bones, Bandai Visual, distributed by Sony Pictures. Runtime was 115 minutes. Release date was on September 1st, 2001 in Japan. For here in the United States, it was on August 11th, 2002. And it was released again on February 5th, 2015 for a AXNC event that it stands for Anime Expo Cinema Night. And let's see, go to home video. The film was released on DVD in Japan on February 7th, 2002, immediately following the top of the DVD and VHS charts. Sunrise and Bandai Visual misunderstood the possible sales, with the first print being used up for the release and permanently a second print in mid-February. Columbia TriStar Home Video released the DVD here in the United States on June 25th, 2003. And in 2006, it was ranked as the 6th best-selling anime DVD in the United States. In celebration of the 20th anniversary in 2018, the film was shown in theaters by Funimation Films on February 18th with Japanese audio and English subtitle. That was probably the one you went to.
Maybe. If it was a one night Fathom event, yeah.
Possibly. On August 18th with an English dub, a limited edition steelbook Blu-ray of the film was released by Funimation under license of Sony Pictures Home Entertainment on November 13th,
so
2000.
There is a Blu-ray.
Yes.
What?
There is
an American Blu-ray, but it was limited edition.
It's a limited edition Blu-ray.
Which means it's probably like $50.
Let me
find
if
it.
You're lucky.
So that is all I have. Remember, I'm going to go look this up.
All right. While you're looking it up, I'm going to get into the summary. A few days before Halloween on Mars, Faye witnesses an unidentified terrorist blow up a tanker truck while chasing another bounty. The blast spreads an unknown pathogen that kills and sickens numerous people. The Martian government offers an astounding 300 million Wulong bounty for the culprit's capture, which the crew is highly eager to earn. Faye and Edward identify the terrorist as Vincent Villaju. I don't know how to say his last name. A soldier believed to have been killed on Titan. Vincent survived a test of the same pathogen he unleashed, having been immunized, but amnesia and hallucinations have since driven him insane. Jet learns that the pathogen is a nanomachine that poses as lymphocytes in the body, a biological weapon that has been proven illegal, that has been illegally manufactured by Charos Medical, a pharmaceutical company Spike encounters. Charos' agent, Electra Ovaroa, whatever you say her last name, and attempts to capture Vincent, but Vincent throws him off a train and then releases another cloud of nanomachines. Everyone else on the train dies except for Electra, who was immunized when in a relationship with Vincent. So she's immortal too. She gives a sample of her blood to a friend at the pharmacy and then prepares a stock of vaccine. They prepare a stock of vaccine. Vincent intends to explode giant jack-o'-lantern balloons full of nanomachines at the Halloween parade, which will kill everyone on Mars. Jet recruits a gang of aged crop duster pilots to scatter the vaccine, and Faye hijacks the city's weather control systems to cause rain, assisting in the vaccine spread. Spike confronts Vincent and the two fight to a standstill. The nanomachines are released, but Spike gets cured by the vaccine. Vincent prepares to kill Spike, but is shot by Electra. Vincent and Electra remember their time together. Afterwards, the Bebop crew return to their normal lives in time for the next episode. Getting into the trivia, unless you found your...
I did.
Go ahead.
So if you are interested in buying this very limited edition Blu-ray Steelbook, you can go to eBay. You can go to eBay and spend a nice cool $210, or for a little cheaper for $200.
Not worth it.
You say that, but I found a Crunchyroll edition of Cowboy Bebop the movie that's only $25.
The Steelbook version?
It's not the Steelbook. Oh, and there's a few here that are for the Crunchyroll version that are even cheaper than that, but they're not the Steelbook. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway,
well,
send me a link to those.
Getting into the trivia. The full English title of the film is Cowboy Bebop Knocking on Heaven's Door. However, supposedly due to copyright disputes over the subtitle, Knocking on Heaven's Door, after a Bob Dylan song of the same name, Columbia TriStar, who released the film in the United States, shortened the name to just Cowboy Bebop, the movie.
I feel like this was the last movie that did that gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything else that did the something or other, the movie. Also, we have another through line. The last time I was on this show, excluding the April Fool's Day
Joe, the movie.
Yes.
Was G.I. Joe, the movie.
At least it's not Cobra.
This film takes place
I found a Cobra Law guard as a brand new G.I. Joe action figure at Walmart. I'm going to send that to you for your birthday.
Okay. This film takes place between Session 22, Cowboy Funk, and Session 23, Brain Scratch, of the original of the Cowboy Bebop series.
That's what I thought.
The movie playing in the drive-in where Jet and Bob meet is High Noon from 1952, apparently fully reanimated for this scene.
Obviously.
The mysterious Rashid is based on the Moroccan guide who accompanied the movie staff while they were scouting locations.
Say that again?
That's cool.
Rashid is based on the Moroccan guide who accompanied the movie staff while they were scouting.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
The character Vincent is actually based on singer-songwriter Bob Dylan, who wrote the song that the title of the film was supposed to be based.
What?
That makes sense as look.
The film's Japanese theatrical release date, being September 1st, 2001, is the day before the television series' first U.S. broadcast.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Among the antique planes seen in the movie are the Supermarine Spitfire, Fokker DRI Drydecker, Fairy Swordfish.
Hey, this is a family show, sir.
Yeah, I know. Fairy Swordfish, P-38 Lightning, F-84 Thunderjet, TBF Avenger, FA-18 Hornet, and the A-6M50.
And you flew all of them? Okay.
in the scene where the vintage airplanes are spreading the vaccine over the city, one of the old coots in the English version says, "This reminds me of the sinking of the Bismarck." The funny thing is, this airplane that he is in, the Ferry Swordfish, a World War II vintage biplane torpedo bomber, was actually one of the planes instrumental in sinking the Bismarck during the naval battle.
And I absolutely loved his. It's like, that was World War One. It's like, no, it's World War II.
No, he said World War II.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he said World War One.
The red
joke is that this takes place in 2080 or something like that. So they're like, that was World War II.
The red spaceship that Spike flies in the movie and in the series is actually also called the Swordfish 2.
Mm-hmm.
The butterflies of light that one sees when the nanobots reach the brain in this is a reference to Zhangji's butterfly dream. This is a famous ancient parable where the Taoist philosopher dreams he is a butterfly. Upon waking, he questions his reality, asking whether he is a man who dreamed he was a butterfly or a butterfly currently dreaming he is a man. This seems particularly clear in the final dialogue between Vincent and Spike, where Vincent pretty much asks the same thing. And that brings me to the end of the trivia. Nate, what is your first like for this film?
I have so many.
Yes, I know we're torturing you by limiting you to 2.
Yes.
So many. I have to pick what I think are the most pertinent ones. So I'm just going to go with the first one really that comes to mind. And it's something that I don't think most otaku, particularly if they are that hardcore or are ever willing to say, but it's the English voice cast.
Yes.
This really is one of those rare instances where the dub is genuinely better. And not only that, I've heard supposedly that even the Japanese filmmakers agree with that.
This is one of the best English dub casts that have ever been organized for any anime film.
This might be
the weeaboos out there, which is the actual term for people who only preferred to listen to the Japanese version. I understand your reasoning for preferring in general the Japanese cast with English subtitles, but this is one of the few instances where the English cast is actually better.
Yes.
Yeah. I've watched this movie Japanese with subs a couple of times. I've seen a few episodes of the show in Japanese with subtitles. I have no real desire to watch the entire show subtitled, and I'm not in a big rush to watch this movie in Japanese with subtitles. This might be the single greatest dub cast for any anime.
Agreed.
I agree.
The performances are spot on. I cannot picture any other, or I can't hear, I guess I should say, any other voices for these characters other than this cast. Nothing against the Japanese voice actors at all, but this is just absolutely perfect in English. And a big part of it is the writing, I have to say. They have some of the best dub scripts I think I've ever seen in an anime, and the performances they sell everything. They get these characters so well, and they embody them so well. If they were to dare to try to redub Cowboy Bebop, somebody's gonna riot.
There's no way they could get just as good a voice cast.
There is no way. There is no way. And to be honest, I think Cowboy Bebop, I think a lot of these people had done work before, but I feel like Cowboy Bebop catapulted their careers.
Some of them have done work before.
Yes.
You realize this is like one of the most busy voice casts,
yes,
period.
There
is not one. When I was doing my IMDb list, I was going through IMDb getting the cast list for this, all of these voice actors have long and extensive credits lists on their thing.
Yeah.
Both as actors, voice actors, and as crew members.
Yes. But it is to the point where this is where we know their names. Yeah. If I hear I can spot most of these voice actors in basically anything else, especially Steve Bloom. I know Steve Bloom when I hear him.
Yes.
And that's largely because as amazing a performer as he is, he doesn't have a whole lot of range to his voice. He tends to do basically, he has like 3 and they're not all that different from each other. But every time I hear him, I'm like, you're Steve Bloom. You are unmistakably Steve Bloom.
Exactly.
Funnily enough, I can do that with Wendy Lee. I always hear her when I hear her voice.
It's easy for me to spot her.
She's got about 3 or 4 different voices that she reuses, but they're good every time she does it. So
yeah, I can spot. But I can hear Wendy Lee pretty easy. Bo Billingsley is a little harder to pick out, but I'm usually pretty good about that. And admittedly, the girl who voices Ed, I don't always pick her out, but I think it's because she has a lot more voices.
And she has a lot more range too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She has a lot more range. But
bear in mind, all these people this is the California stock of voice actors. So they're not just going to be in anime like with a lot of the Funimation casts were. They're like in everything. Every cartoon hits this. Every Western made cartoon hits this group of voice actors first when they're needing somebody.
Yeah,
because they're in town.
Yeah, but I adore this cast so much. Like, this is the Cowboy Bebop is the only anime where if I have some friends over and we're gonna watch anime, I get exactly 0 resistance to watching the dub, and there's good reason for that. Like, I wish every anime dub could be this good. You know, to have such a great scripts that I'm kind of veering off a little bit here, but that's part of what makes this cast work as well as it does, is that the scripts for this find the perfect balance between being a straight translation and a transliteration. Because it's a little bit of both. They take some creative liberties, but it doesn't change the original intent of the original. To give an example from this movie, if you watch it subtitled during the robbery scene, and you got that last goon who comes out of the bathroom and he's put a gun to the old lady's head and he's bantering with Spike. In Japanese, he flat out says, you know, it's like, I'm not here to be nice to you. We're not with the March of Dimes. But in the dub, he says something like, you know, who do you think we're not part of some charity organization. It's just he gave a specific example and one was more generic.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more generic one makes more sense, because it's like, why would the March of Dimes still exist in 2080 on Mars?
Well,
why would
there be antique airplanes on Mars?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But still, like, that's the sort of stuff we're dealing with here. It's just like little things. I think a lot of Ed's English lines must have been ad-lib because they're pretty different from the Japanese.
That wouldn't surprise me, because in order for that to sound natural, you would nearly have to fully ad-lib it.
Because like I'm pretty sure in Japanese, when she's got the laptop on her head and she's just bobbing back and forth like this. In English, she's saying teeter totter, teeter totter. I don't think she's saying that in Japanese. It's something else,
right?
But it's Ed, and
she's just weird, and it works.
She's being Ed.
Yeah, the dubbers and the actress got the essence of Ed, and that still feels very much in character. So I don't really care. Jimmy, we're not hiring Ed. All right? I love her to death, but no.
Well, her rates are pretty high.
That too.
True.
Anyway, that's mine.
Oh, but your system's never worked cleaner since after you worked with her? That's good to know, Deedlet. I'm still paying that off.
Yeah, but at least Deedlet now has invincible firewalls.
She says she had that before. This was a different issue.
Oh, God.
She won't tell me what that issue is. I'd like to know what my money was spent on.
Good question.
That would be a good inquiry.
It seems like a very Ed thing to not give you an invoice.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway.
Jacob, what's your first like for this film?
My first like with Cowboy Bebop, again, it's got a phenomenal cast, whatever, agreeing with Nate. The fight choreography in this movie is just so fantastic. It is just like, it's so, because the way they have Spike Spiegel fight is very much like Bruce Lee is very much Bruce Lee.
That's because that's exactly what he does.
Exactly.
It's Jeet Kune Do. His fighting style is Bruce Lee.
Okay.
They did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm perfectly unaware of that. The fight choreography is great. Definitely, you have the fight between Spike and Electra. You have the fight between that fight. You have that fight between him and Vincent. You have every single fight. It's like, oh my gosh!
I think my favorite one is the one with Electra because it's the funniest one, and it playing with the mop and everything. You know, ooh, I love a woman that can kick my arse.
I love that. That's so good.
Which I don't think is exactly what he says in Japanese, but I don't care.
No, but overall, fight choreography is amazing. The fact to be they utilize,
and it's all hand drawn.
It's all hand drawn. And it's just amazing because you have all every single movement. It's all done in 2s or 3s or something like that.
A lot of it's done in 1s.
Okay,
it's way too smooth to be 2s or 3s.
Okay, 1s. Sorry, 1s. But overall, I was like, oh my gosh, can we just watch this over and over and over and over and over again?
Yeah. The wild thing is that there was a bit of CGI on the show. I don't think there's any CGI in this movie.
Possibly.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. But overall, the fight choreography, I was freaking blown away. It's just you have all the elementals and everything like that. And be the fight on the train. The fact to be Spike gets his tail end kicked by Vincent. And it's just the body blows, the amount saliva and blood that are coming out of mouths.
And keep in mind, even in the show, Spike doesn't usually meet somebody who can match him.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
The only villain I can only think of 2. You had Vicious.
Yeah.
He was definitely a match. And then there was a one-off villain. It was Pierre Lafoe, who scared him to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Otherwise, Spike doesn't get intimidated by anyone. No.
He doesn't get beat that often. But at the same time, it's just more you have these incredible fights that are so incredibly coordinated. I would love to see the behind scenes footage of doing actual live action fight scenes in order to choreograph this. It'd be did they rotoscope it? I don't think they did, but it'd be using references, it's just absolutely incredible.
I guarantee you they had to have been using references.
Oh yeah, footage references.
Of everything.
They probably watched every Bruce Lee movie.
Probably
and just copied that. Either that or they found some actual martial artists and watched them spar.
That's probably because this is highly coordinated, and the camera angles are just beautiful. Especially you get those nice close-up shots where Vincent comes in with a nice body blow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's so good.
That is the thing, is especially when you're making a movie that is a tie-in with an anime TV show. It's easy to just basically just do the show.
Yeah.
But on the big screen, this feels like a movie.
It does.
It's the show, but it is cinematic.
It's got a much higher budget so they can do better fight scenes, better coordination, better backgrounds.
And that's not to denigrate what they accomplished on the show.
The
show is incredible.
It is.
The show's absolutely incredible, but they were allotted a movie budget.
Oh yeah.
So they could do what they did on the show, but even better.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so my first it's the fight choreography. Just absolutely kicks you in the head. With the first one, it's just and just keeps going and going and going and going. It's just this is impeccable. craftsmanship artistically. So I absolutely love this movie for that. Your first lecture?
The use of CG to enhance this beautiful movie to be even more beautiful.
Okay, where was the CGI? Because I kept looking for it.
The easiest one for me to spot was how the camera would move in and around of that remake of the Eiffel Tower there at the end.
Is it the Eiffel Tower or the Tokyo Tower?
Yes.
Either or.
I think it's a combination of both because it's on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call it the Martian Tower. But either way, but the way it was moving in and around that's like, I rewound it and watched it a couple times because I was just trying to make sure I was seeing what I was saying. And there's just enough of a
CGI assistance.
Yeah, it's not. This is not like they used it like to animate a character or something. They used it to animate the 4 different elements of the background, so you could get amazing camera movements while it's still mostly hand drawn.
Yes.
This is probably the greatest hand drawn animated film prior to digital animation becoming the norm, I would say. Just because of how much work goes into it, and the CG just doesn't. And great, this is more like the CG like you see in The Great Mouse Detective during the during the Inside the Big Ben season, the clock tower scene. This is more like that, not like how we see stuff nowadays where they're using it to be cheap. Yeah. This is we need to make this scene as beautiful as possible, so we're using CG to enhance what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, because
not to do it more cheaply.
Yeah. In the show, the CGI was much more obvious. It was usually things like
there's
I think they sometimes did it for spaceships, but it was like on long shots, the warp gate, the warp gates were
CG.
The warp effect was CGI.
To do that effect.
Yeah, the warp gate I think was the warp gate was CGI. Sometimes they would do some of the special effects, like if there was like a hologram projection at a casino or something. I think that might have been CGI, but it was still mostly hand drawn.
So, like I said, the tower, the Martian Tower, for lack of a better name for it, I know that was CG because that's where I really realized, oh, that's what I'm seeing. why it's doing things that I've not seen hand drawn animation really to be able to do very well. But there's also some of the shots of the monorail, I think, were CG also.
Yeah, there's probably
but they are the CG is so subtly used. The only reason I know it's there is because I can't imagine someone doing it hand drawn because it's that well done. So if I am wrong and it's hand drawn, kudos, because that's far more work than any movie deserves, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's like, no, that has to be CG, and you used it to enhance and make the movie better than what it was originally. So yeah, the CG in the use in this film is my first like. Nate, what's your second like?
Again, it's so hard. I love this movie so much. But we've kind of hinted at some of the other ones that I had, but I'm going to say this movie, more than most other movies that I could think of, it oozes so much style and sheer cool. The show does too, but this movie really does it too. And just like the show, it's drawing a lot from American pop and counterculture from the 60s and especially the 70s. And it's in everything, the animation, the character designs, the dialogue. Like, there's so much style in this, but it's style with substance.
Yes.
That's what is so great about this. The style doesn't overshadow everything else. The style is part of it. And that's why it works so well. And there's never really been anything like Bebop. Like this movie, there's nothing like it. And lost my background. Hey, deal it. Mode.
This is not Retro Rewind.
I know, but I had to say it anyway. You know, yes. I had to.
My iPad is getting lower, so I'm having to keep the screen off when we're not needing it. So it takes longer to get back into it.
Here.
Except now for
I can't do that and have it play at the same time because Apple is an idiot who didn't think that people need to charge and play things at the same time.
Well, never mind.
But thank you.
Yeah, and now the virtual background's being really stupid. It doesn't want to. Okay, I got it.
There we go.
Anyway, there we go. All right. End of
audio delete mode.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is that the end of your life?
I thought you were gonna play it again. Anyway,
no.
I'll just to be safe. I'll repeat that last thing I said. There really is nothing like Bebop anywhere, and I don't think it could ever be replicated. It really can't. Like there are some other anime that have strong Western influences, and in some cases are more popular in America than they are in Japan. Looking at you, Trigun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Full Metal Alchemist has a lot of Western influences, but it's all very different sort of stuff.
Speaking of which, am I the only one who may have seen Shao Tucker in one scene?
What?
That looked like after he got where he got hit like immediately afterward.
Okay.
It may have been a weird, it just happens to look the same, but character.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about.
Someone's not seen Full Metal Alchemist.
No, I've seen Full Metal Alchemist. I'm trying to figure out. Just give me
the dog.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like I love how that's all I have to say.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
That's
are we talking
anyone? That's because anyone who has seen Full Metal Alchemist,
Well, I mean, it's Shao, not Nina. So,
gotcha.
We know that pain, but no, like I said,
thank you, Doraemon, for finally saving us from that.
All I can say is with that is I remember seeing a shirt design. It was those two,
the fusion dance,
fusion dance one. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's an old design. But anyway,
okay,
anyways, as I was saying, the sheer style and cool of this movie.
Agreed. Completely agree.
Jacob, what's your second like?
My second like, I'm going to go with the gorgeous landscape, gorgeous like cityscape design. Like this, the environment our characters are in are so luscious and so just like in depth. Be like there's like you go through the streets and it feels like you're walking through a city. It's not something like some CGI paper cutout. Mm-hmm. It's but like they put time, they put money, they put energy and sweat and blood in this to make this real. Like make the city come alive. Be like you have adverts for like Coca-Cola. You have adverts for what was it? Like, you know, different companies. Be like you would notice. You'll be like you would know right off the top of your head.
They probably paid for that.
They did obviously.
It feels very authentic.
It's very authentic. Very authentic. Like you're walking into a real world. Like you would be like, oh, I want to go visit the city. Maybe not that part of the city, but this part of the city. Oh yeah. I love the fact to be like it's so like culturally different. Like you have like a part of the city that is very much like a Muslim part of the country, part of the state of the city, and like other parts is very much metropolitan. It's very much like New York or San Francisco or something like that. It's like Franzen Tokyo from I know I butchered it. I know I said it wrong. I'm sorry.
It's a combination of San Francisco and Tokyo.
I know. I thought I said it right, but I said it wrong.
What did you say? Franzen Tokyo?
Franzen Tokyo. Franzen Tokyo. Franzen Tokyo.
St. Francis is rolling over in his grave.
I taught at his college.
Really? Nice.
University of St. Francis.
Okay.
Nice.
I assume it's the same St. Francis.
It is.
Ah, very nice.
I don't know Catholic saints very well.
You dirty, dirty Protestant.
And
Well, we're all dirty, dirty Protestants. Anyway,
that's true. Anyways, besides my blunder right there, I love the environments. The city feels like it's like you could just be like it's a destination you want to go to in real life, even though it's a fictional place on Mars. But overall, I love, like, oh my gosh, like they got to this world and I was like, wait a minute. Be like, yeah, the TV series is fantastic. It is a very very rich environment. This just takes it up to like 1,000. And I'm like, wow, like every room you walk into has like living and breathing. It has the texture and everything. I'm like, dang, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, my second is landscape, city. Mwah. Great. What's yours, Drew?
Normally, with anime tie-in films, and really tie-in films to any television series you run into, they will generally take a story that focuses on one or two characters, and then they try to cram every other major character in as a cameo. And it sometimes works, and it most of the time does not. In this case, all four of the main cast, and really five, because Eind actually does some stuff too.
He does. He's a good dog.
Are very important players in the story. They all pretty much get equal billing. Spike obviously is the primary one, and he gets all the cool action scenes, but that's his job basically in the show, is to get all the cool action scenes. Ed does. I like the fact that the writing for this as a tie-in show actually does a great job of making sure all of our main characters get to shine, because I've watched so many of them where you don't get that and it annoys me. So yeah, I like the way the writing handled keeping all five of these characters in the loop and making sure we always knew what was going on with them, even if mostly Ein was just hanging out in the ship and not doing anything.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? It's a crime that we haven't mentioned it. So here's a bonus, like the score by Yoko Kanno.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Yoko Kanno is one of the best anime composers ever. I will accept no counter arguments. What's interesting
I'm
about
not disagreeing with you.
No.
Yeah. What's interesting about the score for this is that it's less jazz heavy and it's got more rock in it, which is interesting, but it still feels like it belongs in Bebop, if that makes sense.
Well, why don't we go ahead and go into our dislikes, because I know we have to have some, very few and probably very nitpicky. Nate, what's your first dislike for this film?
This is a criticism I could lob against the show and as well, and maybe it's supposed to be part and parcel with the style of it, but, and this is an easy trap for science fiction writers to fall into, but the world of this movie feels like it's basically the modern world with a few sci-fi bits.
You have to remind yourself a lot in this film that it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of sci-fi going on in the movie.
Yeah, it's mostly like the spaceships, some of the cars, a few bits of technology, but for the most part,
like
you could believe that this was set maybe in present day or in the very near future and not in 2080, where humans have left Earth and colonized other planets in the solar system. And you know, you could be forgiven for that because they still use guns with bullets and the guns still look fairly modern. And you know, the soldiers and the SWAT cops look like modern day renditions of them. The arcade games
we're only talking about 50 years from now. So
I mean, I get it.
And our technology has somewhat plateaued.
I mean, I get it, but it's still, I guess I would still expect a little bit more sci-fi to go along with this, and there's just enough in it that you can be reminded, oh, okay, wait, this is set in the future.
Yeah.
Into the relatively far future, but still, but maybe that's, like I said, maybe that's part of the style. It's like you're talking about those beautiful city streets. I think maybe that was the idea, is that when you go to the to the non-metropolitan parts of the city, it's going to look more run down, more primitive by comparison. You could say that about our modern day world. So maybe that was the idea. Like I said, depending on the episode, you could say that about the original, about the show too. The show, although was a little bit better, from what I can remember about it, the show was better about that. But that's because it was a TV show, so it could travel to different locations. And some of the episodes really embraced the sci-fi of it.
This just happened to be a movie that could have taken place anywhere on Earth.
Yeah, theoretically, because you could also be forgiven for not realizing it's set on Mars.
Yeah,
in a
There's
lot
only
of the
like
shots.
1 or 2 scenes where they actually go to the part of the planet that's still red.
Yeah. Now, one is a major action set piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you would be forgiven for forgetting that that's the same planet the city was on.
Yeah. Yeah. But and then, like I said, you get things like they have old airplanes. Why are there old airplanes here? Does it matter? Probably doesn't.
I mean, it's awesome because that's a hilarious scene.
Yeah. Well, and it's also a juxtaposition, and that's something that you could do a lot. You could do in science fiction and fantasy. You can do these juxtapositions. You can use anachronism, so to speak, to really show some contrast. I've even done it in some of my own writing. I wrote a short story that I want to be part of a larger universe where the main character, because it's a family heirloom, he has, and keep in mind, this is set 500 years in the future, and he has an old cutlass that was passed down in his family, from one generation to the next in his family. So this thing, it's a 1,000-year-old sword, basically.
Yeah.
And mild spoiler, he uses it to kill an alien bad guy in the story who was there to assassinate somebody. So that's what. So I think that's what they were doing there.
At the same time, in relation to those airplanes, there's just a lot of logistical problems that come to mind when I think, okay, you got these planes to Mars, which shipping the planes to Mars had to be an adventure in and of itself. It's an awfully big cargo ship.
Yeah,
but and then they still had enough fuel in them to actually be able to fly for a fairly long time.
And the fuel hadn't.
Well, some of them barely made it off the ground before the pilots had to pull a G.I. Joe and bail out with parachutes.
They didn't die; they were just destroyed.
No, they bailed out with parachutes. Yes. It's G.I. Joe.
Exactly.
I could see their parachutes. They survived. Anyway, Jacob,
so Mars needs planes and moms. Got it.
Apparently. Now I have PTSD from that poor show.
And I haven't thought of that movie in a while.
You missed the other one. The legend goes on. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shut up, Jimmy. I'm allowed to torture them.
Jacob, what's your first dislike?
All right. Wait a minute. There it is. All right. So this is more of a query. I'm generally curious because I watched the film once and maybe I didn't absorb all the information of the movie. So if I'm wrong, please let me know. My question is, how does Elektra have immunity to the virus because of her past relationship with Vincent? I know it'd be like Drew just sniffed because he knows the answer.
I know the answer. I'm debating how to actually say this on this show because this is a family show.
I'm aware.
They had relations.
Jacob, this is not hard.
Now, chicka wow wow.
Hold on.
We saw it could be people.
Let me finish before we start. Okay, let me finish. Please let me finish. Okay. So they had relations before he went to Titan, right?
No.
Yes.
No, it was after.
It was after.
It was after.
It was that. Well, maybe both, but it was mainly after.
Well,
she talked about how he was sad and lonely, and she wanted to help him, and then they fell in love.
Oh, okay.
But then he since forgot about that because he went insane due to the hallucinations.
Because the nano machines messed with his brain.
Right. Okay. So my main question was, did they have a relationship before he went to Titan or after Titan?
Both. Mainly after for the story.
Okay.
Personal story. Whether he did before or not,
what I thought.
Not said.
Because I was like, okay, wait a minute. When does this relationship happen? Because he doesn't remember her. He's only remembering her now. But it's more like, okay, when did this take place? That's my primary question.
It was explained. Electra explained it.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, I missed it.
Yeah, I think, what was it? Was it the spike? I think it was the spike.
It was the spike in the jail cell.
Yeah, you're right. I probably just missed it because I got distracted by something.
And
surprise, Jacob got distracted.
Admittedly, we are talking about right after he got the vaccine that cured him. So he might still have been somewhat sane at that time, even if he was just lonely. Possible. But as time has gone on, the amnesia that he was starting to get and the hallucinations were slowly driving him insane. And that's why he forgot.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. That's all I needed. I
was going to say he transferred it. He transferred it to Faye using his blood, which means the exchange of bodily fluid makes it happen.
Yes, I'm aware,
and I'm going to leave it at that.
Anyways, I wasn't simply asking, how she got it. It could be multiple ways. Obviously, they're in a relationship that can happen.
You should have just asked, why does he not remember her?
Maybe I should have phrased it that way.
Anyway,
because admittedly, you don't go pick on Jacob for asking you a question.
I'm not picking on you for asking the question.
I was like, Jacob, do you need to have the talk?
Of the three of us here,
trust me, there's no problem with the talk. We're like, Mary, hello.
Also, why does a married man need to have the talk
from two single men? That is what got me there. Sorry.
Okay, fair. Okay. In fairness, I should have phrased my question a little differently. Now, on that note, thank you, because apparently I missed something. Because again, I have the attention span of a squirrel. You're welcome for the entertainment value, people. You're welcome. Oh, I'm never gonna live that down.
And I thought I'd said some stupid things.
Hey, Artsy,
worded things stupidly.
Hey, Artsy, you need to clip out the birds and the bees. I'm just saying.
Anywho,
oh brother, that's why I should have an editor go over my questions.
You also think that Charles Manson is a henshin hero. Anyway,
it is odd.
I misspoke.
It is odd. But
I
anyway.
know I'm an odd duck or an odd dog. I get it. I see the
quack. You are a quack.
Hey, no, it's a woof.
He's not a doctor does poorly.
I'm not a Dr. Kevorkian. Come on.
Though he doesn't heal me either, unlike another duck.
Oh, where's that button?
Anyway,
never mind.
My first dislike for this film.
Go ahead. Just hang me out to dry.
This is an issue I have with almost any film that is somewhat connected to another very famous property, and that's when you have a very famous theme song and from a TV show, but you decide not to use it at all in your movie. Because I wanted Tank to be somewhere in this film, and it's not.
And neither is Real Folk Blues.
This is a big nitpick, I will admit, because it's not necessary and may not have fit with the rest of it. But it is a disappointment not to have Tank in this film. So, or the Real Folk Blues, either one.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for a long thing. I'm just like a little sound bite for like a sound cue.
Well, like I said earlier, the score is so good that I don't necessarily miss it.
That's fair. It's just like, and like I said, this is a nitpick. Me trying to think of things I don't like,
right?
That are connected to this film, and I'm thinking, you could have at least had maybe one of the sadder moments be like the sad version of Tank. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think, but yeah, the fact that it wasn't in the movie was a disappointment at the very least. So, Nate, what's your second dislike?
All right, this is another nitpick. There's a couple I could have picked from, and I, unfortunately, actually, given the conversation we just had, I'm just continuing the the unsavory conversation and pushing the envelope on the show a little bit. There are a few instances of humor that, while I could make the argument they're still funny, they haven't necessarily aged well.
Yeah.
Like the weirdo that Ed bumps into during her montage while she's searching the city. And it's very obvious that she is actually a he and likes little boys and only gets rid of Ed. And only gets rid of Ed because
Ed's actually
figured
a girl.
out that Ed is actually a girl.
Yeah, that's not
because she was going around is she wearing a trick or treat disguise with a pumpkin on her head to try to get information. And
that was
I'm like,
such an odd moment.
It's such a weird moment, and I'm just like, it's a little. I mean, I get the joke of it, but it's a little hard to laugh at it. It might be a bit of a cultural difference,
maybe, but same time,
it did seem in poor taste.
Poor taste.
Yeah, it's really the only joke in this that I have difficulty finding funny. The rest of it, the rest of the humor in this, I love it. I love it, but I'm just like, I don't want to think about a PDF file going after Ed. Please,
no, thank you.
It's already hard not to think of Ed as like a really young person anyway. So. Anyway,
yeah, exactly. Nope. Exactly, like you said, that scene. I was like, when I realized what was going on, like, oh, okay. My first thought, nope.
Yeah, like I said, there are other kind of weird moments like that in Bebop, in the movie to a certain extent, and in the show as well. But it's just like,
and admittedly, you are talking about a universe in which a lot of bad things happen that are just as bad as what we're referring to. So,
true, that actually happened in our own world.
Yes, so
which is sad.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, I don't have a second dislike.
Okay,
I did have one, but then it's like my four. What's the word I'm looking for? Trying to be very careful with how I say things.
Your faux pas.
No, not my faux pas. Yes, my faux pas. Not my papa, but faux pas. I am more deliberate how I say something right now because I don't want to be like, oh.
So you kind of don't have any dislikes?
No, not really. Not really. It was more. That was a question that was very.
You want me to send in my dislikes so you could borrow one or two?
You can if you want to.
I mean, like they're mostly nitpicks, so
yeah, that's fair. I'd be like, honestly, I really don't have a bad.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat. So here. If either of you guys don't have any dislikes,
while you're thinking over that,
if you don't have any dislikes, you can borrow one of mine. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't even know if you can read that from here, but anyway, my second dislike then. This movie is a bit on the slow side at times.
Yeah, that was one of them. Either or.
It feels like this film. the film feels like it really was meant to be an hour and a half, and then they spread it out a little to 2 hours.
Yes,
through different scenes. And don't get me wrong, I do like the film for what it is, and I don't really want them to compress it any, but it did feel a little long.
In its defense, I like the fact that it could switch between being energetic and contemplative.
Mm. But there's a lot of scenes that just was like, okay, are we just hanging out here for a second? I don't know. It just felt, the whole film just felt like it was, it would be a couple of energetic parts and a lot of slow parts. And admittedly, I had to rewind the film at one point because I fell asleep. Granted, it was the end of a long day. So when I watched,
I was going to say, that sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem, but I mean, I was enjoying the film. It's just all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, I missed something. And then I backed up like 20 minutes and went, I missed a lot of something. So it's not that it's not that the pacing is bad.
It's just slow and boring.
I'm not pauljpowers.com. I'm just saying there was a couple of times when it was slow, and I kind of wish it had been a little speedier. I'm
blaming your 90s kid attention span.
That's probably wise. Jacob, did any of these inspire you?
No, like you said, like you just stated, the fact that this movie is a little bit long in the tooth. Be like, my first initial thought was like, okay, maybe it's my attention span. But yes, some of the scenes do drag on slightly.
Granted, it is still how the show would have, the same pacing the show uses, but I think with it being a 2-hour film instead of 20-minute episodes, I think they let it be atmospheric for a little longer than they normally would have, and I think that's why it felt slow to me in some places. So.
Do I have the least addled brain here because I'm not bored by this movie at all?
I'm not bored by this film.
Yeah, it's just when I'm looking
at this is always the problem with coming up with dislikes for a good movie, is that the things that really don't bug us that we bring up because it's the only things we can think of sound a lot worse than they actually are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good movie. Do not get me wrong, but it's like, if I had my druthers, maybe shorten some of these longer scenes by a couple seconds so that it's a little shorter, but that's it.
Okay.
That brings us to the end of the review. So we need to rate the film.
3.5.
You are not Roy.
No.
Yeah, but I had to throw it in there. You know,
that is fair. That is fair. What are you actually rating this film, Nate?
Oh, man. Part of me wants to go all the way and say 10. But I feel a little wrong doing that. So I'm going to say 9.5. It is one of... I did not realize how much I love this thing until I watched it again for the show. And it was... The last time I had seen it was during that absolutely terrible theater experience. So maybe seeing it with the dub again and just kind of soaking in this world, soaking in a bit of nostalgia and things like that. I'm just like, man, this is so good. This is so good. It's, in my estimation, one of them outside of like the really artsy anime movies, like from Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli and things like that. And, you know, because as this is probably closer to what you might term a commercial anime movie.
It is a tie into a TV show. So,
it is a tie-in with a TV show, but this in the movie kind of buck a little bit of the trend, you know, the typical anime trend. But you know, but for me, it's one of the most perfect anime movies ever made. But it's because I love the show as much as I do. So I'm gonna say 9.5, but it's really only because Hayao Miyazaki exists.
That's fair.
True.
Jacob,
I'm going to give it a 9. It's a great film, wonderful film. There's no knocks against it. Knocking on heaven door. Da-da-da-dum-bum. Either or. Thank you. I enjoy the animation's fluid. The fight scenes are beautiful. It's a wonderful story. I really have nothing gripes against it. It's a solid 9. It's one of those. It's a great film. I plan on at some point to add it to my collection, and I know my wife is all joyed of whenever I add to my collection, add to my movie collection. Either or. So, yeah, a 9. What is yours, Drew?
I too am going to give it a 9.
Excellent.
This is a movie I want to come back to after going through the show up to, and putting it in where it fits into the series, just because it feels like I feel like, having not watched Cowboy Bebop really in such a long time, that I have missed stuff in this movie. Maybe I haven't, but at least miss like some nice character moments. And so, yeah, this is making me want to go back and rewatch the show, which is exactly what any kind of commercial tie-in is supposed to do. But it is also such a well-written and good story that I can't rate it any less than a 9. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.
Good deal.
Next week, we are going to be watching, what is it, a 80s film?
80s.
Called Rock and Rule, which technically me and Jacob have seen at least once, but it was a very crappy version.
Horrible version.
But hopefully the version we'll be watching this time on Tubi, is it?
Yeah,
it's on Tubi.
Will be a lot better. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting episode one way or the other. Why don't we go ahead and hit the intermission, and then we will get to some Batman.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And it's just now I noticed I did not actually put in the Culture Box show I was intending to promote in the notes. So hang on. Once again, this is a new set of notes, and I forgot. New way of doing notes, I mean.
And his screen went completely black.
Well, that's because I was going to bring it up here, and then I realized the phone would be faster. So
yes, I
can click the correct buttons on here.
Click the button.
It's up here.
Not that button, though.
Hit the button, Frank.
We got movie sign. Anyway. This week, we suggest checking out the Monster Island Film Vault. Hey, kaiju lovers, looking for a podcast that's a fun listen and takes big monsters seriously? Then check out the Monster Island Film Vault, a podcast seeking entertainment and enlightenment through tokusatsu. Host and film curator Nate Marchand and his rotating roster of guest hosts take academic yet fun deep dives into the wide world of giant monster films and television, discussing their artistic merits or lack thereof, and their historical and cultural context, giving you a greater appreciation for an underappreciated genre. You'll hear about Godzilla, King Kong, Gamera, and more, while also getting a crash course in toku topics, ranging from history to sociology and to science. Along the way, you'll hear audio drama segments chronicling Nate's many misadventures on Monster Island, with a colorful cast of characters like his intrepid producer, Jimmy from NASA. So pay a visit to the Monster Island Film Vault at monsterislandfilmvault.com. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Edwin Gonzalez, The Book of Gaming, Artsy Seth, PaulJPowers.com, and, of course, the Monster Island Film Vault. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, plus episodes of our Patreon exclusive show, We're Just Super Saiyan, which we will get back to eventually, you can... I just realized I Control F messed that up. You can donate to our Patreon at the $1 level, and at the $5 level, you'll get uncut episodes of the Cellcast, and with no ads, plus special art from Jacob. And then at the $10 level, you can force us to review a film of your choice within reason in 2027. 2026 is full. Also, please check out our Redbubble store for stickers, t-shirts, and various other things. And if you want to support us without spending any money, please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you found us, and share us with your friends.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. 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 There is a song the good folks sing. Song the good folks sing.
Okay, before we get into these episodes, I have to issue a correction for the last couple of episodes when it comes to the episode numbers for these Batman the Animated Series episodes, because I found out I can't do math.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Because where I was pulling the information,
all right, Bruce,
where I was pulling this information from considers this last season which is the new Batman Adventures as a separate show. So it wasn't putting it in relationship with the rest of Batman the Animated Series. I have since, using the powers of spreadsheets, actually corrected all the numbers. So just very quickly, Holiday Nights was production episode 86, broadcast episode 86. Sins of the Father was production episode 87, broadcast episode 87. Cold Comfort was production episode 88, broadcast episode 88. Double Talk was production episode 89, broadcast episode 91. You Scratch My Back was production episode 90, broadcast episode 90. Never Fear was production episode 91, broadcast episode 89. Joker's Millions was production episode 92, broadcast 92, and Growing Pains was production 93, broadcast 93. We are now back to where we're supposed to be on these numbers. So, first episode of the evening, Love is a Crock, which first aired July 11th, 1998. It is production episode 94, broadcast episode 98. We're back out of order again. Directed by Butch Lukic and written by Steve Gerber. Synopsis for this episode: seeing a kindred spirit, Baby Doll springs Croc from custody to be her lover and partner in crime. New cast for this episode: both Killer Croc and Baby Doll have new voices for this season. Mm-hmm. Brooks Gardner plays Killer Croc, and Lorraine Newman plays Baby Doll. Plus, Buster Jones is the voice of the judge. Trivia for this episode: the newspapers within the episode have two articles referencing show creator Bruce Timm and Superman, tying in with Superman the Animated Series. The first one, the Picture News, has a BT quoting DVD is the next 8-track. And the second one from the Daily Planet says Superman's hands are full.
Yes.
When Croc is leaving the bar, a poster behind him says Josie and has a picture of a cat. This is most likely referencing the television show from 1970, Josie and the Pussycats. One of the stuffed animals on Mary Louise Doll's couch is Yogi Bear from The Yogi Bear Show, 1961. When Baby Doll's bouncing ball explodes for one frame, there is a flash of light that is actually reused footage from the gas canisters that Superman ignites in the Superman the Animated Series episode, The Way of All Flesh. Likewise, when the bomb in Baby Doll's lair blows up, the ensuing explosion is actually reused footage from the Superman the Animated Series episode, My Girl. When Mr. Elon blows a vat of hot lead off its support, right after that, there's another explosion that is actually reused footage from a scene from World's Finest Part 3 from 1997 of Superman the Animated Series, in which two Wayne Lex T7 droids blow up after Batman electrocutes them. I would love to know how the internet has figured out where all these explosions came from.
I was just about to say, how do they know this?
I want to know this too, because as best as I could tell, they were just flashes of light.
Okay.
I understand why they could be reused. I want to know how they know where it came from. Nate,
you know what? You know what? You know what?
Sorry,
I was going to say. You know what that trivia didn't bring up?
That Lorraine Newman got her start on Saturday Night Live?
No.
And she's one of the Coneheads?
No. It's that there is a typo in the poster that in one shot and then it gets fixed in another.
I missed that actually.
I can't unsee it. It's in the sewer lair and it says I think what it was, it Killer Croc or is it actually or did it say Croc or Killer Croc?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it says Killer Croc. It's a poster and it says Killer Croc on it, but it's supposed to be Croc as in short for crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
So it's supposed to be CROC. And in a later shot of the episode, that's what it says, but there's one shot that you can see more easily where it has a K at the end.
Maybe it was actually a reference to Ray Kroc, who stole McDonald's from the original McDonald's brothers.
I don't know. But yeah, but like I said, so it's CROCK. I'm like, are you, like, as in Killer Croc pot? Yeah, Killer Croc pot. What's going on?
Well, who knows how good Gator would taste in a slow cooker?
Who knows? But
what are your thoughts on this episode?
You know, hearing that it was written by Steve Gerber, who is a comic book legend, I might add. This is the man who, among other things, created Howard the Duck. All right?
Yes.
So if you're telling
that.
So if you're telling me that Steve Gerber is going to write this and he's going to bring back, here's the main through line in this episode. He brought back Baby Doll. And the last time I was on the show was for Baby Doll's first episode.
And the episode we also reviewed on that one was the final episode with not Lady Deathstrike. That's a different character entirely.
Yeah. Wrong.
Basically, Janeway.
Red Claw.
Red Claw.
Yeah.
Which was like also weird on the episode from like a year ago you were on.
Yeah. There's like weird through lines here. That, I hate to say this, but it kind of compounds my disappointment a little bit here because if I look at this episode in isolation, by Batman animated series standards, I guess it's okay. It's like I would rank it as subpar to okay. But if I compare it to that first Baby Doll episode, it doesn't compare at all. Like it does not. It wants the emotional impact of that first episode. And the ending, especially, like the ending tries so hard to replicate the end of that last episode. And it with Baby Doll. And it doesn't hit. And it's that disappointed me so much. Especially now that I know it was Steve Gerber. You know, and knowing it's Steve Gerber, to be honest, I would hope it would at least be funnier. And
it kind of wants to be funnier, but it doesn't do it.
It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't.
And I can't even tell if the jokes just aren't landing or not.
It's just
if there's any jokes in here at all.
It's just the entire setup just feels weird to me. Like they try to justify pairing these characters, but it is such an odd pairing. And maybe that was the idea. But
I mean,
on one hand,
episode for the villains is not necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with the exception of like near the beginning, Baby Doll's just more annoying in this than actually.
Yeah.
Like, like at the beginning when she's just, being trying to run the hotel and then
a receptionist.
A receptionist at the hotel and goes to bust Killer Croc out. That whole section is like, okay, if this is where we're staying, that's fine. But then no, she just goes all the way back into that Baby Doll persona to the point of being annoying. It's like if you say Baby doesn't want you to leave one more time, Baby Doll, I will be on Killer Croc's side and kicking you out.
Yeah. Now I maybe some of it might be the writing. Some of it I also do think is the performance, because this voice actress is nothing against her, but this character, she doesn't work as well as the first one. That first one, her performance was brilliant. Like that, the fact that they took this really basically a really obscure DC character and it basically reimagined her and made her into a great character and made a great story out of it, like that's peak Batman the Animated Series for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to her coming back, but it's just like, this is just not working. I am not, the pity I had in that first episode is just gone. Like you said, she feels more entitled and annoying. And to be honest,
and honestly, she doesn't have that adorable look she had in the first one either.
No.
That's the other thing that I don't like the redesign in this.
I liked
either.
Croc's redesign better than I liked hers.
And I'm still not the biggest.
And I still don't really like Croc's redesign.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of his redesign either. Also, I swear, I think this is the first time he's been in this.
Yes, this is the first time he's been in the New Batman Adventures.
Yes.
I've got.
I think it's also the last time he's in New Batman.
I was going to say I've got gripes with how he's written too, but it's just the other thing
he's written here about the way was written in that episode where he met up with the freak the town of freak in the Freak Show episode. He's basically written the same way. It's just not as interesting.
Yeah, it's not as interesting, and I'm not used to him being this smart. It's weird. I'm used to I threw a rock at him. Like that's what the kind of Croc that I'm
right, which it's just hilarious because that was actually Bruce Wayne.
It was Bruce. It was actually Batman in disguise. But regardless, so I've got some issues with that too. But with Croc. But the other thing, and I get it, I'm reading way too much into this, and maybe that's the problem. Like this is the first time we've seen Baby. It's not like Baby Doll is this recurring character who's been in multiple episodes like the Joker. This is only the second time she's been in here, and the beginning of the episode acknowledges that.
Yeah.
Because it has to remind everybody what happened in the last episode she was in.
But this actress is not pulling anything the first actress was either.
No, she's not. Like she tries to do the different voices when she's kind of slipping in and out of character, so to speak, but she doesn't do it nearly as well. But the main thing that really threw me off with amongst everything else is like, lady, you've been planning this big comeback because you have gimmick weapons.
Yeah, true.
You've been waiting for this. You just needed an excuse because I doubt there's any way you put this together that fast. Basically, they act like she's been a regular and they give her all of the accoutrement that you would expect for a Batman villain. But like all the other Batman villains, they're doing this way more often and they're much more established. So you don't get thrown off by the fact that the Joker has, a flower corsage that shoots knockout gas or venom, or acid, I should say, or something like that. You're not thrown off by any of that. But why does she have it?
Or even someone like Harley Quinn, which is an animated series original character.
Yeah.
But Harley's got enough connection with the Joker. Plus, she's popular. She's been in enough episodes where, she has an established personality.
Yeah.
An established way of doing things.
Yeah. This
is the second time the character's appeared and has a new actress.
Yeah, so the entire thing is weird, and I was not a big fan of it. And then the fact that they're pairing her up with Croc, which I already think is a little bit weird, and I also feel like, despite what that synopsis you read says, I'm not 100% certain what kind of a relationship she wanted out of Croc. Everyone treats it like she has a romantic infatuation with him, which is bizarre already. I thought she was trying to do what she did in the first episode, where she's trying to slip back into the Baby Doll persona, where she wanted Croc to be her dad.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I thought that's what they were going with, despite the fact that everyone in the show wants it to be this Bonnie and Clyde, they're a couple sort of a thing. Maybe even Croc thinks that. And
Croc doesn't like her. He's only hanging out until the big heist.
Yeah,
and then
until the big heist, and then it gets muddied even more because apparently I forgot that, despite the fact that they made all of these changes, and in some regards I would argue they made some downgrades, from when it was on Fox, but the censors were a lot more lenient than they are here than they were on Fox. And I'm like, Croc, are those two ladies prostitutes?
They're at least bar girls.
Yeah, or whatever. And so the fact that she sees him with those two girls and starts to get jealous and then tries to pull a Vincent. I was thinking about that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like this is the Cowboy Bebop story, except it makes a heck of a lot less sense. With Vincent, I could understand why he would lose his mind and decide to kill everybody in the city.
Yeah.
And then she just like, that's her plan at the end. She's like, I'm going to kill us and everyone else in Gotham because you spurned me, new dad. And I'm like, what? Even by Batman villain standards, this is an Olympic level leap of logic. What is going on?
The only part where I would think that the couple aspect makes sense, because that's more of a, if I can't have you, nobody can have you sort of a thing. And if no one can have you, then what's the point of them being here? We're just going to blow everything up.
Yeah, but it still felt like such a massive leap. It was just so weird.
This is one of those times where it feels like, to a degree, the show needed to be a little bit long. The episode needed to be a little bit longer. At the same time, I'm glad it's not. Because I was not invested in this episode at all.
Yeah, and like I said,
I wanted to be, because I thought Baby Doll was an interesting character.
Yeah, and that's why this was such a disappointment. This is why this is such a disappointment. I was just like, because that first Baby Doll episode had no business being as good as it was. We talked about that.
This is just an okay episode at best.
At best, and because it's only okay, it feels like a bad episode.
Yeah,
because I'm like, this feels subpar compared to the normal level of quality I expect from the show, and it definitely feels like a letdown compared to the first. But anyway, I have been talking a lot. I took a ton of notes on this episode, but I've been talking a lot.
Jacob, what is your thoughts on this episode?
My thoughts I'm going to say this. I do be like the fact in the very beginning of the episode, Baby Doll is working a 9-to-5 job, and she has this she has the interaction with the customer, and she is her whole stick in the very front of the beginning in the episode is, I want to be normal. I want to be treated like normal. And she sees Croc's conviction where he feels like it'd be like he wants to be normal. He wants to be treated like everybody else.
Except I think it was an attempt to get an insanity.
Oh yeah, agreed.
He's the first Batman villain ever to be denied that.
Agreed. I agree with that. And it's that spark that's like, oh, I found my kindred spirit. I found someone that's like me. Yeah, I get that.
Baby Doll, this is Gotham. You have options.
That is true.
That's also true.
That is true.
Admittedly, of the options, I mean, someone who is treated like they're different because they physically are different. I mean, who's besides Killer Croc do you really have? Mr. Freeze? And he's kind of already taken.
True.
Well,
Poison Ivy.
Be it known, Jacob, don't ever visit Gotham.
I mean, that's kind of goes without saying.
Baby Doll might want to make you her new dad.
Yeah, no. Nope.
As long as she's not related to that girl we ran into at the theme park.
Oh, good night. No.
Oh,
no,
I don't. The ghost girl, Korean ghost girl is a lot nicer. Anyway,
saying, like Jacob? The attraction towards each other, the relationship is very bizarre because obviously it's Croc. He's using her for to get to the next score to where he can do whatever, and Baby Doll is. Like, she instantly slips back into the Baby Doll, even though she wants to be treated normal. She wants to be this. Like, why in the world would you go back to that persona? I know it's your gimmick. I know it's the thing that you're known for, but you're trying to live a normal life, and now you automatically slip into it because you find someone that's abnormal like you are. But
you know what?
But you want to be treated normal. So now be like, you're going to act like this Baby Doll character that you did when 20 years ago.
And at least in that episode, it made sense because she was going and collecting all of her old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and trying to recreate
this episode makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of figured as like, oh, well, we've got to have money if we're going to keep going, and this is what Croc does. So yeah, we're now going to go steal everything because that's what you do in this situation. And granted, continue, but I kind of keep wanting to jump into my thoughts, but continue.
Yeah. So like their two's relationship, like even Batman brings it up himself. It's like, I don't want to know what kind of relationship that this is. And the fact to be like, it's such a uneven, unbalanced kind of relationship. It's Baby Doll thinks she's found her soulmate or her dad or whatever. It's never really clear.
I wanted
to me personally, I think it's more be like she's found the guy of her dreams that is different like she is. But at the same time, you have Killer Croc over here is more like everything. I'm using her for my next score, my next big gig or whatever. And so it'd be like she takes on her revenge. And at the same time, it's like, this is just weird.
Yeah.
That's so, again, kind of like cringeworthy, like you said in the movie.
Yeah, Jimmy keeps giving me this look. He wants to pipe in, and it's like, no, I'm not making daddy jokes. Anyway, you know what? You know what just occurred to me? If they had done a follow-up to this episode, I think there's a way that they could have done another story with Baby Doll and kind of redeem the failings of this episode by pairing her up with another character. And I think, especially after this one with Baby Doll, they'd have a lot of interesting things to talk about. How interesting would it have been if we had a Baby Doll and Harley Quinn team up episode where they both start complaining about how their respective guys don't treat them well?
But isn't that kind of what Harley does with Poison Ivy in this show?
Except
I know they do it differently later on.
Ivy is just like, I hate all men. This would be more like she's like, oh, Mr. J's not being nice to me. And Baby Doll is like, Killer Croc didn't like me. And then they bond over that. And then they go.
It's a sort of revenge plot. And
like maybe they have a revenge plot. And they're like, let's go teach them a lesson, you know?
Yeah. And shenanigans too.
And then shenanigans ensue.
That's a good idea.
I just get the feeling that episode would be on my nerves for most of it. So you're having those two playing off of each other,
because you have one who's trying to act like a child and the other one has a squeaky voice the entire time. Mr. J, you know,
it's almost like they're too alike. There's not enough contrast between the characters.
That's why it would be great. Like,
whereas in this episode, there's way too much contrast for these characters to have anything to do with each other.
And that's why it would be better. Like, come on, like you take that concept, hand it to Paul Dini, and you would have gold. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because Paul Dini wrote the first one. I think that's what made that other one work as well as it did. And the fact that this was Steve Gerber just amplifies my disappointment because I expect better from Steve Gerber.
Yeah. This episode feels, at least to me, like it was a good concept on paper. You're writing down, okay, for this new Batman show, let's do an episode with the new Robin, and then we'll do another one with Baby Doll and Killer Croc teaming up. That will be a fun episode. And it's like, okay, that kind of sounds interesting, especially with the love story thing, but then it just fails miserably from the point actually gets the writing on the episode actually starts, because there's just nothing interesting about this episode. There's a lot of things that sound cool when you first hear it exists that they could do, but they never do it, and it just becomes like it's just boring. This is a very boring episode for what it is. I don't like this episode at all, and I'm not going to say it's the worst one we've actually reviewed on this show, but it's up. It's down there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I was trying to remember if I had seen this episode before. If I did, I only saw it once as a kid, or I only
watching the show. So.
Yeah, or I only saw part of it or something, because it only seemed the vaguest of vaguely familiar. So maybe I didn't. I don't know. But out of the Batman the Animated Series episodes that I can remember or that I have revisited, this is the only one that I have felt such a visceral disappointment with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it's better than this.
Well,
you guys were talking about that Clayface episode a few weeks ago. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, was it last one? Was it the last one?
That was the last one. That's the thing with the new Batman Adventures is it's either in a great episode or it's a episode.
Yeah.
It's never anywhere in between.
Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and go on to the next one?
Which is better.
Torch Song, which first aired June 13th, 1998. It was production episode 95, broadcast episode 97. It was directed by Kurt Gita and written by Rich Fogel. In this episode, a rock singer is stalked by an obsessive pyrotechnician turned supervillain, Firefly. New cast for this episode: Mark Rolston plays Garfield Lins, aka Firefly. Carla DeVito plays Cassidy. David Paymer plays Frank. Thomas F. Wilson plays Howlin' Jake and the Gotham Angels biker. Jane Weedland.
Was his last name Heron?
It just says Howlin' Jake. It could be Heron.
Yeah.
Depends. Are you a DJ? You didn't tell us?
No.
Okay. Jane Wilden plays Shannon, and John Mariano plays Vincenzo.
Oh, I was waiting for. Do we have another Vincent?
I'm going to say Vinny. Vinny. Trivia for this episode: Barbara Gordon makes reference to another WB television show at the time, Pinky and the Brain.
Yes.
When talking to Bruce on the phone. Ironically, Bruce doesn't understand the joke.
That was perfect.
As this episode went on, like, oh, I remember this one, and the Pinky and the Brain reference was one of the things. I'm like, oh, I remember that, because I couldn't believe it's like, wait, you can do that.
Well, it's the same company, so yes.
Mm-hmm.
Firefly was a character the producers had always wanted to use on Batman the Animated Series, but Fox forbade them from using any fire-based characters.
Huh.
Well, I was thinking in the last episode, when we get to the climax, they're doing one of the things they weren't allowed to do on Fox: break glass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two of the names that Cassidy's agents suggest for her new tour are Heatwave and Firestorm, two fire-based DC characters.
Those are two. Yeah, one's a Flash villain and one's a hero.
The heat-resistant suit worn by Batman would go on to inspire two bat suits in Batman Beyond. First, the futuristic bat suit, which also has a mask that covers the entire face, and the bat armor he developed, shown in the episode Disappearing Ink from 1999.
Yeah, what it's not telling you is this was done to sell toys.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. That would definitely be Playmates mandates. I don't remember who made these toys. We'll just say Hasbro. No, that's probably right.
It wasn't Hasbro.
No, it wasn't Hasbro.
That wasn't Toy Biz, because that's Marvel.
No, that would have been. I don't remember.
Anyways,
it might have been Playmates.
I just guessed Playmates because I had a lot of Playmates Star Trek characters back in the day. But anyway, Carla DeVito, who voices Cassidy, is actually a singer in real life, as is Jane Wielden, who voices Bruce's rocker date, Shannon. The character of Howlin' Jake was designed as a direct caricature of legendary radio personality Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack, who appeared as himself in the film American Graffiti, which was directed by George Lucas.
Mm-hmm. Great film.
So his name is Jake, and he's modeled after a guy named Wolfman.
Jack.
No, you're missing it. Wolfman and Jake.
Yes. Him. Yeah, like an artist. Anyway.
Yeah, either way.
Rich Fogel initially had planned on Cassidy being a genuine talent, but Bruce Timm decided to make her a bad singer after he became annoyed with a Britney Spears song on the radio.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Noting Cassidy's display of trauma at the end, Fogel stated that he wanted to springboard off that to make her the second Firefly, an idea that ultimately didn't come to fruition due to the show's short production order.
I was wondering what the deal was with that kind of sad, foreboding ending. I'm like, okay, she has pyrophobia now. What are you going to do with that?
Nothing, because the show got canceled.
I was going to say, why are we dwelling on that? Okay. So she decides that she's going to weaponize what she fears the most.
Just like Batman.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Nate, what's your thoughts on this episode?
Like I said, I remember this one very distinctly. There were lines where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that line. I remember that line. I remember that line. There's images in this that I remembered. However, there's one thing that hits me differently now than when I was a child watching this. Firefly looks like a frickin' Kamen Rider.
Yeah, he does.
I'm sorry. He looks like a Kamen Rider. I can't unsee it.
I mean, insect motif.
The eyes.
The eyes are
the
very.
shape of the helmet.
The only thing you're really missing is a motorcycle.
Is a motorcycle, but he doesn't need a motorcycle because he has a glider. Because he's got a gimmick, and he's got to embrace the gimmick.
It's almost enough to make you wonder. Well, Masked Rider would have aired by now, so yeah, they would. Yeah. In America, they would have known what that character looked like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I like I said, it was almost distracting because I'm like, you're a Kamen Rider. Stop it.
An evil Kamen Rider, but a Kamen Rider.
There are evil Kamen Riders in the world, but I'm just like, why do you look like a Kamen Rider? It's just it's Squirrel, and
it's like, don't tell me you're a cyborg also.
Yeah,
you're missing your belt buckle, sir.
Yeah, seriously. But the other thing, you guys were mentioning how you felt like with this season of the show, it's like, it's called The New Batman Adventures. Why is Batman barely in it? Yeah. And then I was watching, it's like, actually, this gets pretty Batman and Bruce Wayne focused.
This is the first time Bruce Wayne's been a main character in this show.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I would
like disagree with you on that. I would disagree with you on that.
Okay, which other episode was he a major character?
Where it's Harley and Poison Ivy kidnap Bruce.
But that's Holiday Nights, which was an anthology episode, and that was only a third. That's the only reason.
Never mind then. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that is a very high, that does include him in a very rich. I'm just saying that's the only knock against that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's interesting in this one is the way it starts. I'm like, Bruce is weirdly middle class at the start of this episode, because he shows up in a car with his date, and aside from the fact that she's like, we got front row seats to the concert, and she's kind of dragging him along, and I'm like, he's not surrounded by security, he's not wearing a suit and tie, he's not getting just mobbed by everybody there, because they're like, oh my gosh, it's Bruce Wayne, none
the
of
paparazzi
that.
ought to be here for this.
Paparazzi. I'm just like, why is
Summer Gleason not reporting on Bruce Wayne going to a rock concert?
Yeah, I just like, why is Bruce suddenly a regular guy in this? That was kind of weird, but we needed him to be there so that we could have the attempted murder on stage.
Because Bruce Wayne was basically pretending to be Dick Grayson for this episode.
Kinda. It's a little weird. And honestly, maybe that would have worked a little bit better. Maybe it should have, like, if Dick was still Robin, maybe that's what they would have done. Maybe this was originally written to be Dick. And
even as a Nightwing episode, this would work. This would work even as a Nightwing episode.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd introduced Nightwing yet.
They had. He was in
the first episode.
Well, he was in the second episode, but that was just Dick. Nightwing was in Double Talk. No, it was the one with Catwoman. You Scratch My Back.
Oh, okay, but still, I think it might have worked a little bit better that way. But like I said, we needed to have everybody there. It was amusing that Bruce keeps trying to, like, I have to be Batman, I have to be Batman, I have to be Batman, and then it's Batgirl who takes care of the initial problem. And
it's
he
almost
was,
like
and
he
he was
can
happy
depend
about
on
it.
his friends to help him out of a jam.
Yeah,
And they can take care of themselves.
Yeah, and he was happy about it. So
Yeah.
which was kind of cool, but still, so that was a little weird at first, I have to admit. But I also have to give it credit. It does some things that I wish more action movies and such would remember. And that is when when Batman and Batgirl in the burning building that used to be Firefly's hideout, and they're surrounded by flames.
Mhm.
How do they deal with it? They set off explosions. Because guess what, kids? Sometimes firefighters have to put fires out using explosions because it takes all the air out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it kills the flames. Nice job, guys.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that's some initial thoughts. What do you guys have?
Jacob.
I thought it was a fairly decent episode. I didn't think it was a bad episode. It was far better than the last episode we reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the obsessed ex-boyfriend angle. I do enjoy the fact that she is a pop star who is constantly she's flirting with every guy around her, including Bruce Wayne.
She even tries to flirt with Batman. And
she tries to flirt with Batman. It doesn't work, obviously.
And Batman is like, I am immune to your wiles, woman. And it's
right.
Like, Batman. Actually, the note I wrote is, lady, unless your name is Selena, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. Probably not. the Bruce Wayne has only eyes for one woman, and she's perfect. Either or.
Well, he had eyes for another one. That's where Damian came from.
Yes,
but that's
we don't talk about Damian.
Anyway, anyways, I do enjoy the jealous boyfriend, the jealous ex who is wanting revenge, and the fact to be like our starlet at the end of the day is like now is afraid of fire. At the end of the day, it was obviously like it's so dramatic, it's changed her thought process. And I also enjoy the introduction of the new Bat fire armor, or whatever you want to call it.
Go buy the new toy, kids.
Yes, exactly. Yes. It's toy centric.
Well, they made a bunch of those kind of like gimmick Batman and they to a certain extent with Superman as well, but did a lot of those Batman gimmicky variants.
Oh yeah,
and most of them I think they just made up. But I feel like this is one of the times where it's like, oh yeah, we put it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. Drew.
I had never heard of Firefly prior to watching this episode, and this is long after I quit watching the show originally. So I thought the introduction of this character was an interesting concept for a villain I'm surprised I hadn't run into before. But admittedly, he's not one of the main rogues. Though a part of me did think, you know what would be interesting in a Love is a Crock sort of way? Firefly and Mr. Freeze teaming up. That would probably actually be a better story.
Fire and ice. I kind of like it.
3.5.
Yeah.
But this was an interesting story. I like Jacob said, the villainous ex-boyfriend going crazy and wanting to burn everything down, and that being his supervillain origin story. I thought was an interesting angle. I kind of would have been curious to actually see this as the first start of a long-running, not long-running, but a couple of episodes with Firefly, even if it is Cassidy that takes over the role. That could have been an interesting bit of story, and to a degree, I might have been able to see them try to do that in Justice League if they'd wanted to. But
maybe Firefly comes back. Firefly comes back at least once in this season.
So yeah, I enjoyed the episode, but it suffers from the same problems most of the rest of the season suffers from. It's just, this is actually an episode where Bats is a major character in the episode, which has not happened all that often since episode 85. So yeah.
Did you guys catch what might have been a Marvel reference? Maybe
I didn't.
Enlighten us.
I'm amazed because it's kind of front and center.
I missed it.
The name of the what was it, like the match or lighter company where the end of the episode takes place? Yeah, it's a match manufacturer.
Yeah.
Mephisto.
That's not necessarily
that's
a Marvel thing because Mephisto existed before Marvel.
Yeah, it's Mephistopheles, but I don't know of any other place that calls him Mephisto. There was an Ultraman. There's an Ultraman villain named Mephisto, but
that wouldn't be considered.
But that was after. But that was after this. So I'm just like, is that a Marvel thing?
It could be. It also could be like part of mythology or what have
you.
you.
It's they probably intended it to be a reference to Faust.
Probably Faust, because that's what Mephisto comes from, with the character Mephistopheles being originally a Faust character.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just a thought that came to my mind when I was watching this, because I'm very used to Mephisto, that iteration of the name being Marvel.
Admittedly, I did not even see the name, so on the side of the the sign. So
I will say this: I do have one major criticism of this episode, and that's that Batman technically doesn't beat Firefly.
True.
Firefly gets defeated by his own foolishness.
Hoisted by his own petard.
Exactly. Yep. Which is kind of weird. I'm like, okay,
anyway,
I guess we're doing that.
Next week, we will be looking at the episodes The Ultimate Thrill and Over the Edge. So join us for that. Nate, I think you know what time it is.
Shameless self-promotion! Indeed. Haha, I beat you to it.
Fair enough. Go ahead and give us your shameless self-promotion.
Oh my gosh, you got a double dose of it. Anyway, so you have sufficiently shouted out the Monster Island Film Vault, a podcast seeking entertainment and enlightenment through tokusatsu, so I won't go into that again right now. But you can also check out my other podcast that is admittedly struggling a little bit, but is technically a part of the Culture Box Network, Henshin Power V3, where three friends have 3 minutes to talk about tokusatsu. One of my co-hosts was actually in the chat earlier tonight.
I think they both were.
Well, Jake was for sure. Jake, the Metal Don Hambrick, and it's maybe Christopher Sentai guy Reiner was in there.
Oh no, I confused it with somebody else. My bad.
Yeah. You probably be thinking of Jonathan.
Jonathan Courtwright.
Jonathan Courtwright. He's a crazy man. But yeah, so we have a ton of episodes recorded. They just need to be edited. As Chris is in charge of editing, so hopefully we'll be throwing those out soon, where you can hear us talk about Kamen Rider Fies and, kind of pertinent to this show, all, and I do mean all, of the Guyver animes.
Nice.
Spoiler warning, watching all the animes gave me a greater appreciation of the live-action American movies, which is apparently a hot take. Anyway.
I've not seen any of them, so
yeah. Well, so you've got that to look forward to, and then we will be launching season 2, and we will be starting with Mirai Sentai Time Ranger, which became Power Rangers Time Force.
Nice.
And we will be bringing on a guest for that one. But in the meantime, while we're taking care of that, you can check out our weekly live streams that we've been doing on the HPV3 YouTube channel, where we talk about whatever the newest episodes of Kamen Rider and Ultraman are. So we've done Ultraman Omega. We've been talking a bit about New Generation Stars, despite the fact that it's just a clip show. And we've been doing live reactions to the new episodes of Kamen Rider Zets. And that show is wild. It has been way better than I was expecting it to be. I will leave it at that. So you can go check out all those live streams. Although one of them got banned by Toei because Toei said no way.
Yeah. That was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, because I made the mistake of thinking we could get away with showing with actually showing the show, and they yelled at us.
Oh well.
Yeah. Anyway, so you've got all that. Check out my author website, nathanjsmarchand.com, so you can get all the latest news about what I do as a writer and not just as a podcaster. I do have a new short story collection out called The Worlds of Nathan Marchand Volume 2, Tales of the Lost and Lonely. So I highly recommend checking that out. It's only about 100 pages, so you should be able to breeze through it pretty quickly. And I am in the process of writing and finalizing some essays and a new short story for Wild Hunt Press and their kaiju anthologies. They're putting out some new ones in, I think later this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for those. And let's see what else do I know? I'm used to having like the full list sitting in front of me. I'm also a contributor to Kaiju United. And go check that stuff out. I did a really cool article on a Ray Harryhausen exhibit that was in Michigan. So that was a popular article. So go give that a read. Got some great pictures, and there was a collaborative video with Nick Adam of the Monster Report.
Nice.
So so like I said, go check that out. I'm also part of the stable of actors and writers for Scyther Podcasts, and they're high quality, I might add, fan-made superhero audio dramas. You can hear me as Rito, my former roommate, on Power Rangers, the audio drama. Of all people, Deadpool on X-Men, the audio drama. And apparently, even though I have only appeared once, and it was a post-credit gag, I have become, at least to Scyther fans, about as iconic as Deadpool as Ryan Reynolds. I don't understand how that happened. I've even had people ask me to play Deadpool in their productions, or their fan productions, I should say. I'm still trying to process all of that. And then you can also hear me as Johnny Storm, baby, on Avengers, the audio drama. That's all the really important stuff.
All righty.
And also, because this is timely, I will be at G-Fest in Rosemont, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago, in a couple of weeks. No, not a couple of weeks, next month. Yeah.
In July. All righty. Well, join us next week for Rock and Rule, along with the ultimate thrill and over the edge of Batman the Animated Series next week. But in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And Nate. And Jimmy from NASA.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
See you, Space Cowboy.
How did we get through this whole episode and I didn't break Jacob? Oh, wait. It's because I didn't bring up Diabetic Skeletor.
Ha, ha, ha.
And that right there is proof how late it is.
Yes. Ha, 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 ha.
All right. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with raiding anybody tonight, guys. But thank y'all for joining us. We will see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
And